matter. Your money mustn't go in a rally pocket. Gotta go in the road.
Yes, sir. Tell them.
We want the road fixed. We want the road fixed. Blow your horns if you want your road fixed. Blow your horn if you want it fixed. Stick your lights if you want it fixed. How many times must you go and get your tires fixed? Your suspension, your tires? Will you pay for that? Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to stand up. Speak out, my people. Speak out. Power to the people. We want the road fixed. We want the road fixed. Time to fix the road. Too much potholes. This is a pothole nation. Governed by the pothole national movement. The October Revolution is on. Time to fight. Poor people, there is time to speak out. Now is the time. The time is now. And these are the groundings connected and the PNM. Douglar, smarting, perplexed, the inefficiencies of this wicked government. They seem not to care about the constituencies after the approval of the Olympic ladies and gentlemen. All the constituencies on the south of the Caribbean Coast have been under pressure. Lack of representations of the government. They are not releasing the funds to the various regional corporations. And we say enough is enough. victims from discrimination at the highest level. The Camden Road is like the bypass. You really have to have driving experience to get to the Camden Road. My brothers and sisters, this is a statement we are making. We are calling on the ministers with the character. Please visit office right now. Right now, leave office. And these are the blindly connected and the PNM. Smarting, reflect the inefficiencies of this wicked government. They seem not to care about the constituencies after the approval of the county prisons and government. All the constituencies on the south of the county bridge have been under pressure. Lack of representation of the government. They are not releasing the funds to the various regional corporations. And we say enough is enough. Victims from discrimination at the highest level. The Camden Road is like the bypass. You really have to have driving experience to get to the Camden Road. My brothers and sisters, this is a statement we are making. We are calling on the ministers with the character. Please visit office right now. Right now, leave office.
Damaged and broken since August of this year. It has been many months and we've been asking the authorities to fix this on behalf of the residents of Lalo Trace with no help forthcoming. There are many farmers that live in this area and they supply goods and produce to the NAMDEFCO COVID hampers relief. And they have no use and no function out of this bridge. Today I have with me Councillor Ryan Rampersad, and he will give us a little more insight into the situation.
Hi, good day everyone. So this bridge falls in the Lalo Trace area, which is shared by myself and Councillor Balmati Gosai. As the MP said, we have approximately 50 farmers inside here. Now we have an alternative route that is very long, very dilapidated, and very dangerous. That is through the David Toby route. We have a number of elderly people who live inside here who do not have any transportation. They are forced to make a dangerous trek across the bridge, and they have been complaining that with the heavy rains, it floods frequently and it is very dangerous for them and their families to get across the bridge. We have been appealing for the repair of this bridge for a number of years, even from the previous MP, and it has been almost 5 years now that this bridge has started to go away, and it finally went away on August the 18th. It is quite dangerous. I know that the MP has been making appeals. He appealed to the Minister of Works, Minister of Agriculture, and I don't know who we can go to anymore, but we are begging on behalf of the people of Lalo Trace to please get this bridge fixed. I want to congratulate the leader of the opposition for bringing about this stance that we are embarking upon right across the country. And I am here with my colleagues, Councillor Balmati Gosai and Councillor John Lezama from CTTRC, and we are appealing on behalf of the people of Lalo Trace.
So as you can see, we have a number of residents in the area and we are all socially distanced. This is not a protest, this is just a demonstration because of our frustration. And myself and the councillors here and the alderman of the area, we are standing in solidarity with the residents of the area, and democracy is dead, as our leader has said, because we are getting no relief from the government. I will now bring you to Councillor Balmati Gosai.
Firstly, I would like to commend the leader of the opposition, the Honourable Kamala Prasad Bisasa, for taking a stance in Parliament and standing up to fight for our democracy. How long must we remain silent while our nation's road continue to deteriorate and become almost impassable? This is becoming pothole country. How long must all our bridges continue to fall? How long will our families in this nation become hungry? enough is enough, and I'm appealing to the Minister Rohan Sinanan. I'm appealing to Clarence Rambarat. I'm appealing to Senator Kazim Hussein to come and fix this bridge here. We really need the help. Funding in the corporation is an issue. We cannot even fix one road. More so, we have almost 99% of the roads in our electoral district becomes almost impossible, and without funding we cannot do anything. This is not a PNM or a UNC bridge. This is a bridge that all our citizens of this country, we use this bridge. We have people, we have the elderly living across there. We have people who may be pregnant. We have children who have to go to school. The alternative route to this area is almost impossible also, because we really need this bridge fixed urgently. And I'm begging you, ministers, come. There are people in Central too. Las Lomas deserve help. Caroni East deserves help too. We are begging you again, come and fix this bridge now.
Thank you, Councillor Balmati. And now we have Alderman Chandrika Sahadev. As you can see, we have many children that are on the other side of this bridge, and this bridge is so dangerous for them. Should they try to transverse this bridge and they could fall into that water course, it's very, very dangerous. Alderman Sahadev.
Thank you very much, our MP for Kearney's, councillors, all who are present here, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like you all to know that why are we here today? Why we are in this gathering today? We are here mainly because we have a bridge that is broken down. A bridge that is broken down and adjoining roads are in terrible condition. When something like a bridge is broken down, we have been, our MP and our councillors, our two councillors, have been making representation on behalf of the people of the area. It's the people that are affected in the area. And we have reached nowhere. As you notice, they said about 3 months now, this bridge has been broken down and not one gravel has been dropped here to repair. People have been coming from the different ministries and so on. Just last week Friday we had a visit by Rural Development. And same old story, red tape. We can't reach anywhere, and I don't think we'll reach anywhere in the near future. So we are here today not to get political mileage. We are here today to make another way appeal for the ministers to be aware of the plight that the people in. You see what happens really if a bridge break down here, people figure, well, the only thing will happen is a car won't be able to pass across. So the bridge break down, a car can't pass on. But it's not so. We have school children. We have, as Ryan mentioned, we have a highly agricultural place. People plant karaili, they plant all different types of vegetables, and they need to pass and go out somewhere. People need to transport their children and go to school. I think very soon they'll be going to school, traveling to go to school, so they need transportation to go and from. Our job today, what we come out here, is to make an appeal to the people who have to come and fix this road, the ministries and so on. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Sahadev. And as Councillor Rampasad and Councillor Gosain was saying, they have been making representation at the local government level, but they have been frustrated with the lack of allocation of funds by central government. And today we also have another councillor with us, Councillor John Lazama, where he is also the chairman of the infrastructure division of the Cuba Tabati Talparo Regional Corporation, and he will give us some more insight into that situation.
Thank you, MP Rishi, and fellow councillors who are gathered here. Based on, we know that we were hearing that this bridge belongs to the local government body that to maintain these bridges. But based on our funding, it is highly impossible that we would be able to construct a bridge with $5 million, a bridge probably might cost about $3 million, where our budget allocation is $3 million for 14 councillors. That is highly impossible. This bridge has been so for a while, and if anybody would have been looking at it, this was something that was in the making, not yesterday. So those are the things that the government have to be looking at. We in the Cuba Corporation, we are on every day bombarded by situations like this. Bridges, landslips, and, well, forget the deterioration of the roads. And without funding, there is hardly anything that the corporation could do. On a $3 million budget, where our councillors will receive $300,000 for roads and bridges, which bridge could we build with $300,000? Well, that is impossible. We can't even build sidewalks for that sort of money in terms of the price of the rapid rate prices going at this rate now. We wouldn't be able to do anything with that. We are calling on the government, the person in charge, to look at the funding that is allocated to local government bodies to do infrastructural work. And like our leader said, democracy is dead. Because if that is what you call democracy, and you hear the minister on the radio say, and on press conference, saying that they only represent 21% of the roads, but you get more money than us. Is that democratic? These are people too. These are people urging themselves to go about their daily life. And it is impossible to go about your daily life in situation like this. I hope that this does not fall on deaf ears, and that the minister move with a pace to have this bridge remedied and all other bridges in the Kuwa-Kabaki Talpa Regional Corporation. And we would be keeping our foot on the ground, as our leader said. October Revolution, it now starts. Thank you.
So are you live there, Corky? Good afternoon, Corky. You're on radio, you can talk. You have no mic. That what I tell you, keep your mic, Corky. When Khadija reach, she go get a mic, because the people want to hear Corky too, you know. Corky pelt with mic and start to do hand signal. Oh Lord.
So what we have in store today?
Well, the story get worse. You see, Trinidad and Tobago is a place where somehow, somewhere, by some means, Keith Christopher Rowley has instilled fear in human beings of all walks of life, all levels of education, all levels of income. Somehow, his character, his mannerisms, his bullying means, his agitation when he has instilled fear in human beings of all walks of life, all levels of education, all levels of income. Somehow, his character, his mannerisms, his bullying, his agitation when he's caught lying, that has trickled a sort of fear into the population at all levels. So much so that Magdalena Grand Management tried to come to the defense of Keith Rowley in an indefensible position. Because you can't rewrite history. And a lady who is working and serving and has no axe to grind, and who would not just concoct or manufacture and has no need to do that whatsoever, would not just make up a story. Plus, the whole country knows Keith Christopher Rowley. We know he heartless. We know he say wean yourself off the government. Everything is the government, the government. We know that he has led a government that is only about recusals, renting their own buildings, contracts to their friends, family, wives. We know that he puts only his closest confidants in charge of the taxpayers' money, whether it is Noel Garcia, Newman George, A.A. Kwamina. In fact, A.A. Kwamina, even if he wanted to talk against Rowley, if Rowley give him an instruction that is ultra-virus or illegal or misbehavior, A.A. Kwamina could not tell because he's his personal attorney. And discussions with a personal attorney could be deemed to be under lawyer-client privilege.
Right.
Does this augur well for corporate governance and checks and balances monitoring the taxpayers' dollars? But people always quick to ball UNC, UNC, UNC. But right in your face, they have the worst human being who has infiltrated every institution in Trinidad and Tobago. So Magdalena come out now to try and and soften the blow, to try and massage Rowley's lie that he didn't really show his heartlessness, his callousness, his disrespectfulness, and his lack of care and consideration for another human being, and especially a female, a woman. Magdalena come and put out a statement. Nobody asked Magdalena nothing, you know. Magdalena had nothing in this. Magdalena didn't drive no golf cart. They didn't do nothing. Magdalena not in the issue. But them jumping because the truth about Rowley is getting out. But what happened with Magdalena? By them trying to defend Rowley, they actually made it worse. They made the situation worse for Rowley. Because, as we see here, Magdalena staff says and put out a response. But remember Rowley's story, the lady's story first, was that she gave the Prime Minister 2 Gatorade. She was walking back to her place in between the line of golf carts, just in front of Rowley's golf cart. The golf cart moved forward. Rowley was behind the driver's side steering wheel. Rowley was the only one in the golf cart, and the golf cart moved forward, bounced her, she tripped and fell and hurt herself, hit her chest on the ground and so on. And that Keith Christopher Rowley, the Prime Minister, sat there and did not budge, did not come out of the golf cart, and did not come to see about her or ask her anything. That's the lady, the victim's story. Rowley said in the Express, printed in the Express Thursday, 28 October, I was sitting in a golf cart, which was parked behind another golf cart. The cart could not start, and I was just sitting in it as the manager of Magdalena and staff were fussing with it and changing keys. Okay? So, in Rowley's statement, he's already trying to create a situation that he is not in control of the golf cart. For what reason? Only Rowley could tell you, because an accident is an accident is an accident, and an accident happens is an accident. What's the big deal, right? Nobody would ever think that Rowley, he heartless, he policies bad, he procuring without procurement, but no one would readily believe that Keith Rowley go just mash gas and bounce down a lady on purpose, right? Not one human being would believe that. But Rowley starts to try to create. They always tell you remember when Wade Mark was asking Ethelbert Hines in the Senate about that infamous day that Bliss C. Prasad wrote a letter or email to Gary Griffith and he received it at 10 p.m. But the Express had it before, and the Express just print at 7 p.m. Ria Tate had it, where he was told he was basically suspended. And remember, this letter was done by Bliss C. Prasad on her own, without the approval, the majority approval of the police service commissioners, K. Walsing, Craig James, McNish. Right? They did not agree. But when Wade Mark, on a motion on the adjournment, was making the case that there was political interference at the highest levels, including the Minister of National Security and the Prime Minister, in this whole sordid affair, Ethelbert started to overtalk and try to make his defense. So hear what he say. Well, when I was speaking to Gary Griffith, my phone was on speaker, and the permanent secretary was there, and the permanent secretary overheard the entire conversation. Now, who asked you all of that? And they always say criminal just try to make alibi one time. So he drafted in the permanent secretary as a corroboration for his nonsense. But even in that story, anybody who knows permanent secretaries would know that that's not on. If a minister is on the phone, the permanent secretary takes his or her leave. The permanent secretary, especially if the minister is on speaker, would not just sit there and listen to our conversation, especially national security, especially a conversation with the commissioner of police. So that's wrong. Furthermore, Gary Griffith said Ethelbert never told him he was on speaker. So you cannot just put a man on speaker and have other people listening to a conversation, especially in national security matters. That is not on. That is not protocol. That is not decorum. That is not phone etiquette. But anyway, so Rowley said that everybody else was fussing with his golf cart. So basically, he was just sitting there doing nothing. But Magdalena came out to clarify on behalf of Rowley. Now, you all understand what Magdalena get into this had nothing to do with Magdalena. Nothing whatsoever. It required no clarification by Magdalena. But Magdalena decided, for whatever reason, that they must jump out to try and defend Rowley. It seems that everybody, every institution feels they must defend Rowley. So the police welfare head of the Police Services Welfare Association, Gideon Hinkson, earlier in the year, about 5 weeks ago, jump out to defend the PNM, to defend Ethelbert, and we agree. And I'm saying, but why are you jumping into these things? These people have their work to do. Let them make their statements. But now Hinkson realized that the imbroglio that has put us in a constitutional crisis, and the police have no commissioner of police, no substantive commissioner of police, no acting commissioner of police. The police are headless, rudderless, without strategy. Their morale is down. Over 2,800 officers have not been promoted because there is no police commissioner. There is drama all across the board. The crime situation is absolutely surging out of control. And now the head of the Police Service Welfare Association understands that this interference by Rowley has put the police service and the country in grave danger. So Magdalena comes out and says, however, during this time, the Honorable Prime Minister, who was having trouble starting his golf cart. Now, you see? Cocky, you see? Yeah,
Yes.
You understand what I say? Yes. Let's go back to what Rowley said. Rowley told the Express, I was sitting in a golf cart which was parked behind another golf cart. The cart could not start, and I was just sitting in it as the manager of Magdalena and staff were fussing with it and changing keys. You see? That's what Rowley said. But the Magdalena, a statement put out by the manager, because Rowley talked about the manager, the very manager that Rowley calling in to corroborate his not doing anything, that the golf cart just jumped forward. Now, for what reason? You see, Rowley just like to lie for no reason, because it could have only been an accident. Accidents happen.
Yes.
Okay? It's the actions after that was the worrying part. So Magdalena come now to defend Rowley's actions after, to try and pretend that he did what he didn't do, and he didn't do what he said he did. You understand? Yes. But while they focus on the after the bounce incident, to try and pretend that Rowley showed some care, concern, and consideration, which I would deal with just now, they throw Rowley under the bus by showing that he lied. Because Rowley said, and I repeat, only listen carefully, you know. Yeah. Rowley said, I was sitting in a golf cart, which was parked behind another golf cart. The cart could not start, and I was just sitting in it as the manager of the Magdalena and the staff were fussing with it and changing keys. But the management and the staff of Magdalena say, during this time, the Honorable Prime Minister, who was having trouble starting his golf cart, was successful. The cart moved forward making contact with Miss Gordon before the Honorable Prime Minister could have successfully braked to avoid contact. So Magdalena is saying Rowley was having problems starting his car. Rowley eventually started his car, and Rowley moved forward and bounced the lady and then pressed the brake and stopped. Rowley say he was just sitting there and the staff and other people was fussing with it. Them turn it on and the thing jumped forward. And then he pressed the brake. Right. So those of you all who know golf carts have 3 positions. Neutral, which is where you start to switch on the connection, switch on the electric engine. Left side is forward, right side is reverse. End of story. It ain't nothing else. Even a 3-year-old could drive a golf cart. You understand what I tell you? Yeah. Them remote control car. I remember I had a little Barbie, a Mickey Mouse pink car for my daughter when she was 3, and it had a button. One button is forward, and you press it back up, it's backward. Right? Yeah. I don't think it even had brakes. It just, it had accelerator. It didn't have brakes. Once you stop pressing, it has stopped. Right?
Yes.
That is what a golf cart is.
Yes.
So, Magdalena, you just let the entire country know, for those who are a bit confused, for those who didn't know about land date, who didn't know about gravel rolling from a hospital to somewhere by Rowley, to those who didn't know about Renaissance, those who had no clue about Greenvale lands and Rahal, those who had no idea about Las Alturas, Edinburgh Towers, 1.8 billion projects in housing with Noel Garcia, Rowley, Al Rawi, and Andre Montai being the big boys in that situation. For those who didn't know that Rowley's lie on Patrick Manning, talking about spirit lash and getting him sick, and telling him that Calder Heart, he brought out that Calder Heart because of corruption and so on. And y'all who thought Rowley don't lie and didn't know that when he talked in 2009 about property tax, now he come into jam y'all with the property tax when the economy is the worst it has ever been in our colonial past and our independent history. Our economy is at the lowest level now. So y'all who didn't know that Rowley was a liar when he brought pieces of toilet paper into the parliament, desecrated the parliament with lie after lie on Emailgate, and then continues up to this day to say Emailgate has some veracity. It just didn't reach the benchmark for criminal prosecution. But he appointed Gary Griffith, who was one of those people he accused of conspiracy to murder in the Emailgate. He appointed a man who he accused of conspiracy to murder as the commissioner of police. Either he mad or he lie. Which one all you want? Either he should be in St. Anne's up in them sinkhole that the whole road collapsing and the entire population in Stuart Smallpin constituency could not drive on that road because children could dead because the river has undermined the entire road because Stuart Smallpin Young busy negotiating contract and gas price in Houston and flying all over up in Rowley K-Pax. He cannot see about his constituency. He cannot see about any ministry that he has been in. And the place is dangerous. Imagine if a mother was driving with her children, one big hole, a 8-foot drop deep down, and the hole cover 90% of the road up in St. Anne's Day. But then, let's continue now. So now you all know that the Magdalena management has alerted you all to the fact that Rowley does lie. And this, I want you all to understand, there's absolutely no reason to lie, you know.
No.
Cocky, and it's an accident.
Yes.
Accident is accident. What you need to lie about? But these just pathological. There is nothing that could come out his mouth that is the truth. Pathological. Because who get vexed with you? Who would think you bounce the woman on purpose? What you vex with the woman for? Now, if it was Kamala walking in front, that's a whole different story. Because he vexed, he dislikes, he detests Kamala because Kamala is everything that he is not. Kamala is a good prime minister. Kamala put cabinet notes to help people, help women, help single mothers, help children, help education, help sport, help culture, roads better, less flooding, more jobs, better economy, foreign direct investment. All the things that Rowley cannot do, Kamala did. So that's why every moment is Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. And to some of y'all who believe the hype that Rowley, Kamala cannot win, and Kamala this and Kamala that, let me ask all you something. If that was true, if Kamala can win, and Kamala cannot beat Rowley, and Kamala cannot unseat the PNM, why Rowley attack Kamala every minute so?
Scared of her.
Well, okay. Therefore, what you're saying is that it's not true. He's had to be scared of her. Why is someone scared of her? Because they could beat you. They could take your work. They could put you out. They could let you know that all that power, all that procurement that you're doing now could be gone. You want to remove her because she is a threat to you. That is why every minute, Kamala, 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 Kamala. And some of you don't understand that. If in politics, the PNM not attacking you, the PNM not lying on you, the PNM not sicking them mass media PNMites on you to write and fabricate, if the PNM is not weaponizing the media against you and the social media campaign, you are a useless politician. So if the PNM is praising you, Vassant, useless. Devant, useless. If you are going on PNM shows like Rhoda Barrett, and don't get me wrong, I have respect for Rhoda Barrett. You want to know why? Because she is a PNM, and she says she's a PNM, and she takes a PNM position. I could respect that. Now, I disagree with every point she makes because everything she tries to defend does not make sense and cannot be supported by factual evidence, cabinet notes, policies, and help on the ground.
Yes.
But I have more respect for Rhoda Barrett, who is a PNM and says she's a PNM and she loves she PNM and she fighting for she PNM, than independent senators who swear on a Bible to be independent, but them is really secret PNM. When you check the voting record, if they vote 20 times, they never vote against the government once. If you check the voting record, even in the most abject asinine bills, bills like the procurement legislation, where a prime minister and attorney general, a government is coming to say, let us remove all the checks and balances from around the people money so we could thief. Imagine an independent senator voting for that and others abstaining. Imagine independent senators not voting against that. Does that make sense? Think about it. Procurement legislation and the gutting thereof by a simple majority. If you go outside and ask anybody, whether it is PNM, UNC, well, not sycophantic PNM, but PNM who believe in the PNM but like things to run properly, right?
Yes.
They have some of those out there. If you ask them, they would say, no way. Why are you gutting procurement legislation? What could be? What's in your mind? What's in your heart? What are you trying to achieve by making it easier to steal? Cocky, if you have a house, you home there, and you have a gate to lock your property.
Yes.
You have 3 CCTV cameras. You have burglar proofing all around all the windows and doors.
Yeah.
And you had 2 Rottweiler.
Right.
Right? And a security consultant, crime hitting the neighborhood and so on because no police commissioner and bandits getting brazen and so on and surge and spike in crime. You call in a security consultant because you want to take care of your 5 daughters. There's 5 daughters, ain't?
5 girls, yeah.
5 girls. So you now getting nervous now. So you want to improve your security. You call in a security consultant from Secure We Self Company Limited.
Yes.
And after the person goes around your house for an hour They come to you and say, Mr. Corky D, these 3 security cameras you have, we have to disconnect them. They have no use. You see that nice big wrought iron gate that you have with a bolt and a lock and a chain to keep your car and so on, that 10-foot gate? We're going to take out that and just leave that space wide open. That's useless. We don't need that. You see this, all this burglar proofing that you have and this gate around your door and so on? Unnecessary. We're just going to put in some little louver doors, them nice little fake wood doors that you could kick down easy. We're going to put in that. And this security consultant then tells you, see these 2 Rottweilers that you have here with all this teeth and this big heavy dog 80 pound?
Yeah.
We're going to give them to TSPC and we're going to buy 2 little Pompek.
Oh.
Yes. What would your conclusion be about this security consultant from Protect We-Self?
This man trying to make people run in my place because
You said it so succinctly.
a little pump
This
pepper,
man
yeah.
trying to make people run in my place.
Easy,
So
yeah.
if you have a piece of paper like this, Corky D,
Yes.
a bill that protects the treasury. So when you pay your taxes, when you pay your VAT, whatever you do, when the money goes in, the oil and gas money, which is to be spent on all the 1.41 citizens, million citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and you have a piece of paper like this that Kamla Prasad Bisesa brought, and all these words here, Corky, all of these words are protecting your money. They have different means to make sure that you do things correct. You could have oversight. Different people could check. They could check the tender process. They could go ahead and redo tenders, investigate, due diligence, all sorts of things to protect the money and the assets that belong to you. If a government come and tell you they're removing all of this, Corky,
Yes.
all of these words they're removing and they're replacing it to protect your money with this. Look at this.
Yes.
They're moving this
Yes.
and replacing it with this to protect your money. What they want to do?
They want to make me pour something out.
They want to run in your... What you say? What the security man wanted to do?
To run in the
Let
place.
people run in your place.
And rob me or kill
Well,
me.
if they move from this, what Kamla had to protect your money, all of this laws, regulation, procurement, this, rules, thing, and Rowley and Al-Rawi come and say, nah, forget this.
Yeah.
We put in this to protect your money. What they want to do?
They want to make me a pauper and have nothing
They
going.
want to run up in your place.
Yes.
Now,
inside the
what
place,
you
they
have to
wanna
say
have me.
now, what you all have to say out there to an independent senator who votes for this?
A senator who vote for that.
Independent, not a senator. So all the PNM vote for this. Because them had to do what Rowley said. Rowley don't even tell them good morning. Them don't even know what's going on in anything. The only people who know is the power brokers, the recusal twins. Coleman Butt, Rowley, Al-Rawi, Small Pin, Rohan, Convent Girl, and 1 or 2 others. The rest of them don't even have a clue. What you have to say, how can an independent senator vote for this to protect your money when Kamla had this? I leave you all right there with that. So the Magdalena came back and they continued now. So now the Magdalena went into the real defense. They come big now. They come to show and to secure Keith Rowley's position. So the country is up in arms. People have realized that Rowley showed his true colors. Because Corky said it, and I asked many of you all yesterday on the phone and so on. Anybody you bong somebody, you bong them by accident or whatever, the initial human response is to fall head over heels and start to try to figure out, say sorry. Every other word is sorry and how you can help, sorry. What you want, and make sure that things are right.
Yes.
That's what you do. You don't just sit down, proceed to go and play a golf. But Magdalena now realize that in the story, Rowley not looking good. So they decide that like they have to defend Rowley.
Yeah.
This is what I don't understand. Magdalena, who cares? They're not your business. But you see, everybody has to lick a little K-Pax in this country. We're becoming a country of K-Pax liquors. So Magdalena goes now. Here Magdalena now. They done show me that Rowley lie. The resort added, right, that during the course of the day, Rowley did inquire about Gordon's welfare. Really? So while he's out on the golf course hitting his balls, and he sucks at golf, you know, he loved the game, but the game don't love him. He's really horrendous. And he's a carpetbagger on top of it. But that's an aside. That's for me as a sportsman and someone who understands the swing and the beauty of the swing and the coordination and the distribution of the weight on the legs as you drive through the ball and so on. Rowley sucks at golf, okay? But anyway, they go ahead and they say, the resort added that during the course of the day, Rowley did inquire about Gordon's welfare. Right?
Yes.
Really? Resort? The lady, Miss Gordon, say Rowley, move from the van. Rowley called she. Rowley check for she. She drives herself to the hospital. The resort now. The resort come and say, during the day, Rowley did inquire about the lady's welfare.
We did.
Yeah, okay. Let's analyze that stupidity now. If I bounce you down, Corky,
Yes.
I go call Mr. Balu and ask if you okay.
No, you're calling my phone and my family to find out.
Say it loud.
Yes.
Exactly.
You call me up.
So what is this ridiculous clown, this manager of the Magdalena, trying to inject? The lady say, the lady who get bounced, who had no extra grind, who had no issue, just talking the truth. Say the man never move, he never call me, not interested, nobody. The Magdalena now come to try and say, the resort added that during the course of the day, Rowley did inquire about Gordon's welfare. Really, Magdalena? How did he inquire? Of whom did he inquire? Where did he inquire? Because, Magdalena, Rowley sucks at golf. Why is that important now? A round of golf, 18 holes, for good players, at a slow pace, a normal pace, may take up about 5 hours. Rowley sucks. So he has to take more shots per hole to get the ball in the hole. So if he played a round of golf, it will take him 6-7 hours to complete. He probably could not even complete it because it got dark. So if he started his round at 2 p.m. after he bounced the lady and didn't see about she, by 7 p.m. he could not have even completed and it's pitch black. So when and where did he inquire about Miss Gordon's health? And to whom did he make these inquiries? And why do you think it necessary to jump in this story? And if Rowley or anybody asks you, Mr. Manager, who is so beholden to Rowley to come and write a thing to try and defend him but make him look like a total clown, as Corky D just said, that's not an inquiry. He didn't bounce you, Bajaj. He bounced the woman, Batao. So why he didn't call the lady? He didn't get the lady's number. He had 20 different people around him. He couldn't say, please get that lady's number. And while he's playing his golf, after he hit the ball up in behind God back in the bush, while they're looking for his ball because he sucks, it wouldn't have hit the fairway, he could have taken his cell phone out. Miss Gordon, this is the Honorable Prime Minister. How are you feeling? Are you all right? Do you require anything? Couldn't do that. What kind of human being couldn't do that? You come to write to tell we that that heartless bastard is something worth being a prime minister? Mr. Bajaj, wherever he is, hush your mouth, boy. He then went on, you know. The Magdalena said, the Honorable Prime Minister, Head of Security, Mr. Applewhite, called on behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister on October 26th. Let me tell you something, Magdalena. You like to put all your mouth in the thing. No head or no security is authorized to call on behalf of the Prime Minister. The head of the security, there's special branch, them come under the police, them have a work to do. Them is not the PR or the communication specialist or the communications minister for the Prime Minister. Them is not of that. So if Mr. Applewhite, the head of the Prime Minister's security detail under the special branch, inquired about Miss Gordon, Mr. Applewhite did so on his own volition about it by himself. There are other people who represent the Prime Minister. He has 3 ministers in the office of the Prime Minister. He has Small Pin, he had the Tobogonian Webster Roy, and he have Dum Dum from Diego Martin, the nosebreaker. They could have inquired about Miss Gordon or called Miss Gordon and given an update to the Prime Minister if he was so busy looking for his ball in the razor grass. He then has communication specialist, media specialist. He has Prime PNM specialist communication. He has Laurel Lazama leasing, the PNM PRO. All of them could have represent all of that. Not head of security. So what are you telling us about this? And furthermore, Magdalena, you just made him look dotish again. Because you are telling me that a Prime Minister who has 7 hours to play a round of golf with his non-skillful, unskilled, dotish swing could not, within that liming period, on Friday, Saturday, and all the scotch and shrimps on his birthday on Sunday, he couldn't stop for 1 minute and press boop, 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 boop. Bring. Hello? Miss Gordon. Good morning. How are you? This is Keith Rowley, the Honorable Prime Minister. Just checking to see how you're doing. How's your ankle? What did the doctor say? Are you all right? You know, I really want to apologize, Lord. I don't know what happened, my master gas. Don't worry about that. It's total accident. I want to humbly apologize. But you're all right? Who's taking care of you? Is your daughter there? Your sister? You have a husband who's there? What would you like us to send some food for you, you know, because you won't be able to cook? I can organize something. What do you like to eat? Would you like some crab and dumpling? You know, maybe a soup? I can have my boys drop it off there for you. No, you all right? All right. Well, I'll check up on you later, but I'm glad that you're doing good. So Rowley couldn't do that, Magdalena? Rowley couldn't do that? He's a nasty, heartless clown. And all you're coming to make excuse and say Mr. Applewhite call? Who the hell is Applewhite? Applewhite is a police. Let Applewhite study if somebody coming, walking around a wall with a rock with Rowley name on it. Let Applewhite study business. Applewhite is not to study to have decorum and courtesy and humanity because of Rowley. They continue, you know, it get worse, you know. The Prime Minister was sitting in his cart behind another cart. Oh, sorry. This was when what the lady said, right? Yes. The Prime Minister was sitting in his cart behind another cart. I took 2 bottles of Gatorade to give it to the Prime Minister. And then on my way back, he, the Prime Minister, put in the forward gear instead of reverse gear. Right? At that time, I was crossing between the 2 carts. And the cart hit my leg. I fell flat on my chest and my tummy. The Prime Minister did not come out of his cart, said Miss Gordon. Gordon claimed in the report that Bajaj and a member of Rowley's security detail picked her up and put her on a chair. That was probably Mr. Applewhite. Oh. And because Mr. Applewhite, the special branch, is a normal human being. Oh. You understand?
Yes.
And really and truly, Mr. Applewhite was such a good human. Really, and them, like when them Secret Service and so on, do not get tied up, you know, when they are trained to protect their dignitary. They cannot get distracted, even if it is for humanitarian reasons, grounds, empathy, and care. Because they are to stay focused, because at any time, anything could happen to a president, a prime minister, and so on. You have to stay focused while all around you is chaos. So really and truly, Mr. Applewhite wasn't even really supposed to, somebody else was supposed to go and see about Miss Gordon. But I big up Mr. Applewhite because his instinct as a human being, as a father and as a man came in and he went and see about the lady. All right?
Yes, yes.
And then obviously our Prime Minister is not the US President and so on. Nobody here want to do nothing. You understand? People just want he to come out of the office and go and play golf freely for the rest of his life, but leave we country alone. Come out and stop suffering the people. That's what we want. So he said, Gordon claimed in the report that Mr. Bajaj and a member of Rowley security detail picked her up and put her on a chair. So, Mr. Bajaj, why would Miss Gordon lie? She's saying that you were there and Mr. Applewhite picked her up and put her on the chair. But she also said that Rowley did not budge. He sat in the car and you are trying. You did not say that he came out. You did not say he came and made sure. You say that he inquired about her health. To who? You? He bongs you? You twist your ankle? You fall on your breast? Eh? Bajaj? Look, give me a chance, yes? So, and she continued. She said she later sought treatment at the Scarborough General Hospital. So imagine, an issue that should be a non-issue has become an issue because of the dishonesty of Keith Christopher Rowley. He's a franco-man liar. And then more importantly now, the lady tested positive for COVID. She's COVID-19 positive. And she, Rowley, and Bajaj, the Magdalena manager, have confirmed that she was in intimate, close contact with Rowley. And furthermore, that she had control of things that he had contact for and would put in his mouth. Gatorade. So that is the closest kind of contact that you can have. Therefore, Keith Christopher Rowley should be in quarantine all now for 14 days. And anybody, including Mr. Applewhite, Mr. Bajaj, all of them should come in there. And we see that we welcome Miss Khadija Amin here into the studio. And we're going to organize and come back to her. Don't worry, I go fix that chair for you after. Right? In a little while. So let me just wrap up this. Rowley, for the 5th time, could be COVID positive. And Rowley, the super spreader, is now telling all you that he ain't care about them. He ain't care about all you. He going on a plane with Small Pen going again. All you used to talk about Kamala taking her sister to make sure a lady is okay, make sure everything is all right. Very important person. But why Rowley needs Small Pen so? What Small Pen does do? Small Pen does take care of him. Anywhere he go, he can't fly without Small Pen. Hey Rowley, that's why the honey go to there walking. We coming back, Cocky play some ads. When we come back, the MP for St. Augustine, Khadija Amin.
Tuesday at 7:30.
I'm going to a service.
Join me on Tuesdays on MCTV. Don't make joke. Every week, new episode. What are you waiting on? Make sure and schedule me in. Don't make joke. MCTV original series. Make sure and watch.
No.
Yes?
They can't do the show.
Thank God, they won't be here anyways. Don't make joke, eh?
No, they're just joking, Jules.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari.
Join us Tuesday the 2nd of November right here on MCTV from 8 to 9 as we take a journey in the life and the legacy of the Lion of Judah. I am your host, D-R-A-M-A, accent on the last A, Dra. I'll see you soon.
Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown. Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees Hi-Fi, the metal merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network, local Palooza show and countdown. Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown.
Focus Studios proudly presents Diwali Lights, a virtual concert. Join us on MCTV on Sunday, October 31st from 5 p.m. and enjoy live performances from Reshma Ramlal, Satnarayan Raghu, Anurara Hansraj,
प्यार के लिए चार पल कम नहीं थे कभी तुम नहीं कभी हम नहीं
Anthony Batson, and so many more. May the light of Mother Lakshmi spread to the dark corners of our world through music and song. Special thanks to our valued sponsors: Focus Studios, Factory Concepts, Lullaby Group, Drumsy Entertainment, BH Sound Company, Mohammed's Indian Delicacies, Bacchanal Radio, Classy Dolls Makeup Artistry, Printer Ting, Beauty Secrets by Natasha, Pawan Wholesalers Limited, Annie's Roti Shop, U975,
Hot like pepper.
Multicultural Radio, and MCTV. Diwali Lights, a virtual songs and evening of beauty and praise. Only on MCTV.
Happy Diwali.
Rhythms Communications Network is looking for persons to become community news reporters. Would you like to address problems or activities in your area? Would you like your voice to be heard? Well, this is your chance to become a member of the RCN Family News Source. Our networks include Radio 975 Hot Like Pepper, and on television, we are Multicultural TV, broadcasting on your favorite cable networks. Everyday news is happening all around you. As a member of RCN, be inquisitive and use your recording devices to record footage and send it to us on rcnhomeseries@gmail.com. If your story is aired, you can be rewarded. To sign up, call us now at MCTV 609-4726 for more information. You and RCN can make a difference in Trinidad and Tobago.
And welcome back to Douglar Radio, U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper. And when we talking Hot Like Pepper, we have the young, vibrant, intelligent, boisterous, strong, passionate MP for St. Augustine, the Honorable Khadija Amin. Good evening, young lady. How are you?
Good evening, Anil, and good evening to all your listeners and viewers. We have a big following on Douglar politics.
Well, that
and
is
people
nice.
appreciate that you are speaking out. And I urge people to continue to join their voices too, because we alone cannot speak. The people of this country must stand, must be ready to take a stand. And so I urge people to join the October Revolution. It is happening all over this country.
Explain to them what some of them PNM say, we want to beat up people. What is October Revolution? What is the concept? And then tell me also what you just came from, because I saw the live up in St. Augustine. People, I saw Rudy and dancing down in Couva South. Talk to me.
The October Revolution is a peaceful revolution that the citizens of this country get the opportunity to make a stand, to let their voices be heard. It is a peaceful revolution. It is not about violence. We wear black to signify the darkness that our country is presently in. When we go out on the streets, we walk in an orderly fashion. We adhere to all COVID protocols. We have social distancing. We wear our masks. We use sanitizers. And we ensure that we adhere to the rule of law. But it is also important for democracy to be protected, for the voice of the people to be protected. And while inside the parliament, they could mute our mic and mute our voice of the people who were elected, outside of parliament, we must be brave enough to stand. And you, the people, must be brave enough to stand with us. So I urge citizens, this is not about whether you are UNC, PNM or whatever, if you have no political affiliation, this is about the people. This is a revolution that is going throughout Trinidad and Tobago to highlight where people have been neglected, unfairly treated. You have roads collapsing in this country and man collecting 20 million in rent. You have people starving, literally cannot put food on their table. The road is so bad, they can't even fix the car again. They have citizens who are coming out now to speak out. And that is what the October Revolution is. It is a voice of the people, a voice to ensure that democracy is protected. And so anyone can join in the October Revolution.
And let me tell you something. I see the printing, express printing, set a crosstalk and they put that Anil say that independent senators eating for the supper. Let me tell you something. If there is no supper, one cannot sing for your supper. When we called for a secret ballot, when we were in the parliament, Khadija Amin was following her leader, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Rudal Munilal, Anita Haynes, Saddam Hussein, Wade Mark, David Naked, Lida, Jerlene John, myself, and many others. We were fighting for democracy, fighting for debate, fighting to hear the motion, fighting to get information, fighting for facts that has led this country into a constitutional crisis. And in between, when you can see, we were also fighting for secret ballot. And I ask you people out there, let's not make a mockery of our country. If we in this radio station, U97.5, Corky, if there are about 50 employees, and we are going to take a vote against Baru, the owner, the man who paying everybody's salary, do you think that the employees would take a vote and raise their hand in front of Mr. Balu? Eh? No! So if you are taking a position that would require honesty and ability to vote your conscience, it would have to be a secret ballot, because no human being could be legitimately expected to vote against the person who has given them a job and who's in charge of them getting their salary and their perks. That is just a fact. So, if there is a supper, then one can sing. If there is no supper, then one cannot sing. Furthermore, Khadija Amin was there also, and I was asking also, if my brother was in a decision, something was going on, and I had a vote involving my brother, my beloved brother, who I grew up with, who I play cricket with in the road, who we stub toe with, we nearly bond down hill with and get licks and with belt, we swim together, we play together, I sit down in the wedding, I drink rum in the wedding, I'm a brother, I love my brother. If there's an issue involving my brother, can I be expected to look and listen and deal with the facts? Or will I be emotionally tied to my brother and to vote in my brother's direction? These are the issues that were brought up. These are not personal attacks or personal issues. These are just franco-men, serious democratic issues, Khadija.
And I have been saying, independent senators are public officials. They are paid by the taxpayers. I see you showing part of the
yes,
live you in Oropun this evening. So I will talk a little bit about that. Independent senators are public officials. Their salary is paid by taxpayers' dollars. They are appointed by the president, who is supposed to be independent, and they are not supposed to go in there with political interests. But they are not above scrutiny. So to say that they must not be condemned, or their actions should not be examined, to say that we should not call out a conflict of interest, to say that a man who is the chairman of a cabinet-appointed committee under the PNM government would not have a bias, to say that the woman who is the sister of a central figure in this Police Service Commission fiasco, that it should not be examined, is to create a sort of elitist reign. And we do not have elitist governments in this country. This is a democracy. So just as I am open to scrutiny as a member of parliament, elected, put myself before the people, Just as you, Anil Roberts, are in the Senate and you sit there and they scrutinize you, they say all kind of things, whether it's true or not. We are all public officials, including the independents. So this is not a personal attack.
But I would also tell you, Khadija, for example, I was telling Koki the other day, everybody know my life dream and so on is coaching and dealing with children and carrying them to the highest level of the Olympics and World Championship and so on. For decades, my family has been trying to build a 50-meter pool complex there in Powder Magazine. And we have come up against Rowley, Rahal and the PNM in a ring-down battle that's still in court, so I wouldn't go into much of it. But when I went into politics, and when there was a possibility that I could be the Minister of Sport, the idea about that pool had to go on the back burner because it is my family pool. You come now, PNM lie on Kamla and come into government, and an Attorney General sit down in the cabinet, go outside the door, sip a coffee, and come and rent his own building for $23 million, and now it must be 46 because it must be renewed. Furthermore, take 38 million to outfit his own building, and these people find that's okay. It is not okay. We are losing principle.
And when you speak about it, the first thing they do, they say you are not a patriot. The second thing they tell you is that you are UNC. They tell you you're trying to mash up the place, and they say you're UNC as if that is such a bad thing. But the truth is that anybody who is brave enough to speak out against the PNM, they bash them. They attack their character to try to shut you up. And that is intimidation, and that goes against democracy. They do it in Tobago. Anybody in Tobago has a different view to PNM in Tobago. They bash them as being UNC and that UNC paying them and all kind of nonsense. Totally untrue. Just to attack your character. And this is why I say we have to be brave. Because any person, there are a lot of people who are not necessarily UNC, but they are against what the PNM is doing. And they continue to do that. They will attack your character, and they do that to shut you up. And the question must be asked, why? Why do you want us to stay quiet? Why do you want the citizens to sit down and shut up? It has to be that your actions are less than honorable, and therefore you don't want people to look at what you are doing, the wrongdoing that is taking place. And that is what I tell citizens the October Revolution is about.
But in the parliament on Thursday, you saw it first because you were seated right next to the opposition leader. And you saw the speaker pressing her finger on the mic when the system in the parliament and the Senate is that when the speaker or the president is up on their feet and their mic is on, all other mics are muted. So if her mic was continuously on, it meant that ours were muted.
And I saw that at one point, the speaker gave an explanation that the constant banging on the desk by the opposition may have caused some technical difficulties. Listen, the technical difficulties only happen on the opposition bench. When it was time for the government to vote, every one of them, their mics were working. When it was time for us to vote, up to now, my vote on behalf of the people of St. Augustine is not registered in that Hansard.
But they register crosstalk.
Crosstalk, all kind of thing. And then you have, in brackets, interrupted, inaudible. Yes. And that is what the Hansard says. Because, and I make no apology for speaking the truth. And if you hold down the button on the mic, no other mic on the system will come on.
Correct.
And I saw where the Speaker of the House was continuously holding.
And anybody could go on Parliament channel back to Thursday, 12:15, and look at it for themselves. Don't take our word for it. Go and look at the truth.
And when the clerk passed the document to her where she registered the vote, she lifted her hand from the mic, and for that moment...
We heard you clearly, yes.
All of a sudden, the mic working. And then all of a sudden, when she stood up and she held down the button again, it wasn't working.
But I must say that after Thursday, all across Trinidad and Tobago, we got calls and we got messages commending you for showing strength, for showing determination, and for fighting for democracy. So on Douglar Radio, we want to commend you for that, and we want you to continue to fight on behalf of the people. We saw Michelle Benjamin doing it. Well, Kamla Prasad-Bissessar has been doing it for 40 years. We saw all of the young MPs getting up there and fighting, and it was really inspirational.
And we owe that to good leadership. Kamla Prasad-Bissessar as a leader has been a very mentoring type leader. She doesn't hog information and knowledge to herself. All of her experience in the parliament has been guiding us. And I have only been, although I was in the Senate, it was very different. And I have only been in the lower house, in the House of Representatives, for just over a year. And her guidance in terms of every step we take, parliamentary procedure, things that we can say and we cannot say, things that we can do and cannot do in the House. And her leadership and coordinating the troops inside and outside of Parliament is responsible for the strength of the opposition. And I know that there are people, of course there are people who have different views, but at the end of the day, we have to stand for something. And if you are just about destroying, then you are on the side of the
But look,
TNM.
you are a young, strong woman. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is the first female Attorney General, the first female leader of a major political party, the first female leader of the opposition, the first female prime minister. She loves and respects women. She is a woman, a mother, a grandmother. She has shown in a cabinet for 5 years and 6 months cabinet notes that were designed to empower women across the board. Too many to mention. Kamala Persad-Bissessar supported and respects and still respects Her Excellency the President as a woman and her ability to rise to that office and her career as a Court of Appeal judge. Is this issue about Section 123(4), is it a gender issue or is it a constitutional issue?
You know, the people who suddenly remember the gender card are really using it conveniently. I see my partner Rowley, who bash women, call women all kind of golf course and are not in your bedroom, and blame victims, women who died, who were raped, who were murdered in this country for what happened to them. Coming out and all of a sudden he is concerned about gender. And that, listen to me, this issue where the leader of opposition, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who happens to be a woman, is raising a serious misconduct of the highest office in this land that involves Paula May Weeks, who is the president of the country and happens to be a woman, is not a gender issue. It is about a constitutional crisis that has been created by misbehavior in public office, and it includes the Prime Minister. So this is certainly not a gender issue, and we have to continue to be outspoken on the facts. So I just want to say to those convenient feminists, take all your time. You know, they say straighten your skirt and sit down. You know, this is, we cannot let up on this constitutional crisis that has been created. Anything that you want permission from the Commissioner of Police, who are you going to? My people want to keep a little peaceful walk in the community. March for peace, march against crime, a little peaceful walk. That I write a letter to the commissioner. Who are you writing it to? Who has there's no one with the authority to give permission for these things. Police officers who have to get their promotion. Where are they getting it? There's a crisis facing the police service where the deputy commissioner only has so much power and so much authority. And the entire police service, you have, of course you have the bad eggs, but you have good men and women who are ready to serve this country. And the Prime Minister has jeopardized the lives of these men and women in the protective service, in the police service. And for that, we must quickly come to a resolution and ensure that what happened, the interference, the misbehavior of the people in the Police Service Commission, the man who driving the Attorney General car, I don't know if that is a gift.
And where the story gone? Why did the media they just drop it and leave it? Where it was not registered, they know it wasn't registered. 5 years when the Attorney General gives some letter to say he sent somebody, you cannot do that, that is illegal. Was it paid? There were fees to be paid each year on that transfer that were not paid. Was the check ever encashed? They print a check in the express. Me, I know when you cash a check that the bank don't stamp up on it and thing.
But it also was not transferred in the
licensing office, correct?
So to me, let me tell you, they could give all kind of rigmarole story. This is $1 million gift that the Attorney General, a member of the PNM government, gave to a member of the Police Service Commission while he was sitting there. So what returns was this man given for this gift? So to me, it looks like a gift.
Well, it wasn't it Rowley who created this million gift concept when former Minister of National Security Dillon was caught in a court in New York with a Manhattan $1 million US apartment, and they say it was a gift. Since when ministers could get gift of that sort?
And you must declare these things. The Integrity Commission also has a role to play, but the scrutiny from the citizens is of critical importance.
And the media.
So while the media, we know the media has some strings that are pulled by a few puppet masters. We know that. But at the end of the day, the leader of opposition has been a crucial figure in exposing this information, exposing this $1 million vehicle that the gentleman from the Police Service Commission was driving, which belongs to Faris Alwari, the issue of the fake oil, the issue of the rentals,
the issue of the indemnity and immunity for a witness in a criminal matter.
So all of these things came to the forefront because of the leader of opposition being brave and bold enough to come out and share the information. So we have to stand up, and this is why I say it is not for one woman alone to speak. It is not for the leader of the UNC alone to speak, or the MPs because we elected and they put we there. The strength is in numbers. And that is what the October Revolution is about.
But
Strength
you
in
are
numbers.
not only a strong woman who is leading a constituency and fighting against the PNM, you're also a mother bringing up a young man. So I have a question for you, because I asked Cocky have 5 daughters. If your young man, when he's older, and he's driving, or he's playing golf, or he's in a golf cart, and he happens to, by accident, bounce a lady or something, if he were not to jump out of that golf cart and see about that lady to the best of his ability, how would you feel about that?
Listen, this thing is beyond being a gentleman, you know. This is about being a human being. Your natural reaction, you bounce somebody, hey, you alright? Your first reaction, you run over somebody, you bounce them, whatever the golf cart, you jump out, ma'am, you alright? You pick she up, you help she. That's your first human reaction.
Instinct. So not even conscious thought. That should just instinctively happen.
You understand? So this man, I mean, when you look at on a human level, and
something
I mean,
missing.
Something seriously wrong. And I mean, we have seen it in the way he speaks, in how, I mean, there's violence in his tone a lot of times. And I say, as a man who is a leader, it sends a message to young boys in terms of what is acceptable, how you can speak to other people, how you can speak to women. And he constantly, in his actions, and this action on the golf course, to me is just a classic Rowley being inhumane. You know, to me it is subhuman, that type of behavior. Your first reaction should be, you alright? Something to protect a person, to assist, to help. And that is that is the mind that we have leading this country. And that is why we are in this state. Because there is no human care. There is no concern for the average person as another human being. It's not about UNC, PNM, or I have a big boy walk and you have a small man. It is about human concern, and that is what they can't touch Kamla Prasad Bisesa with.
I'm glad you said that, you know, because somebody was telling me. But Anil, Kamla had 29 seats, and she did not change the constitution, and we still stuck in this. And then I had to take a deep breath. And I had to say, excuse me, Kamla had how many seats? Kamla did not have 29 seats. This was not the People's Partnership was not a UNC government. Kamla had 4 other political parties, 4 other political leaders to manage. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was not the Prime Minister of a monolith cabinet. She had to deal with Winston Dukaran. I was a COP at that time, and I could not understand Dukaran in the first 2 months. Everything he talked about, he wasn't doing. We talk about bottom-up, seeing about poor people. He come in the cabinet to fight for Lockjack, Yetming, and Conrad and the Young. I say, but them at the bottom, them nice. And me and him start a battle and cross swords. Kamla Prasad Bisesa had to deal with the Congress of the People, with Vernon de Lima, Nalini Dial, and even Joseph Tony at that time. Now he got back to his senses and so on. Everybody attacking the UNC at that time. It is amazing that Kamla Prasad Bisesa kept that government together. She had to deal with David Abdullah and the MSJ. Do not get confused, you know. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was a brilliant manager. If that was somebody else, if that was Pandey, if that was Manning, if that was Rowley couldn't handle that. Rowley cannot even run his own PNM cabinet. Right now it's split in 3. And y'all are talking, so be very careful. Don't rewrite history. And Kamla Prasad Bisesa still was able to have a report done through consultation over a 2.5-year period by Prakash Ramada for constitutional reform, because you can't just go and change a constitution. You have to consult, you have to get ideas, you have to put it together. And she did do about 2 or 3 things she took to the parliament to change the constitution. The report is still there. 6 years later, the PNM has done nothing. All they're talking about Kamla, all they rest Kamla now.
Kamla Prasad Bisesa is not a dictator. Because even with the 5 political parties
She let
in
all
the
of them
government,
talk. Dukaran used to talk till we fall asleep. And I used to be watching the Prime Minister. Oh God, don't ask that man a question again. But she so let everybody talk.
but I was not privileged to be a part of the cabinet and parliament at that time. But I can tell you, looking on from the outside, what I saw was that whenever a bill came to parliament that required a special majority, the PNM was allowed to have their say as well. And there's a saying that, you know, at the end of the day, the government will have its way, but the opposition should have its say. So that many times there was only 6 senators the government had. Many of the government ministers on the partnership side sat and listened and gave credit where credit was due, made adjustments. That is why so many pieces of legislation was able to pass.
With special majority, correct.
Exactly. So when the PNM say that the UNC is only objecting, we are objecting because you are bringing bad law for
And you're not
Alwari.
listening. Exactly.
So we have to make changes. So when we put amendments forward, they don't take the amendments. How are we to support bad law? When it was the other way around, you made changes because people have different points of view. Imbert was there, the same Faris Alwari, Stuart Young was there, Stewie. All of them made contributions, and that is why, at the end of it, if you have a say in something, you will vote and support it. So when they say that they voted in support of bills that required majority,
That
special
was
majority.
because Kamla's government listened and made amendments.
Exactly, and she did not need to.
Correct.
She did not need any one of them vote. She had enough on her side. And that is the difference when we have in parliament, you are supposed to allow the opposition to have an input.
But let me also let you know, because what you are saying, and I want all you to go back and check, test, and don't take my word for it, you know. Let me tell all you something. Wade Mark was a speaker who was fair. If it was, he was 60-40 partnership or 55-45. Wade Mark used to pull me up and call and stand in order on me and buff me and all the other government MPs when he was in the seat of the speaker, allowing Rowley. Imagine Wade Mark allow Rowley that email gate no confidence motion and to talk nonsense and lie for an hour and 15 minutes because Wade Mark believed that you have a right to speak no matter how much nonsense you're talking. But now you are in the parliament for a year, Khadija Amin. And I don't want to bring in, don't talk too much about the speaker. But it is clearly not that way.
And I think people have to remember and compare. But you know, Anil, people are seeing.
Let them go and check it for themselves.
People are seeing in terms of, people have their perception and inbuilt perception of what fear looks like. And when people on the outside, citizens look on in parliament, they don't feel that it is being fairly conducted, that the opposition members are given a fair chance to speak. Yes, we would have been defiant on that day for the special sitting, but there are many days when the government members behave bad, say things, do things, and it doesn't catch the eye of the speaker, so therefore she doesn't raise a standing order. You know, but at the end of the day, the speaker has a responsibility to be fair and to facilitate the voices. And that is what we are asking for across the board.
And let's just remind you, the issue with the Police Service Commission, the president is just trying to move forward. She appointed another nominee that will come to parliament, the 5th one. She's just moving forward and not answering. she believes that in her paid media statement, I am not telling you what took place with the Prime Minister on August 11th and 12th. And that's her decision. That is not on. We are not, she's not a queen. She's a president. The issue is, you, Madam President, admitted in your statement that the merit list, duly approved by a majority of the Police Service Commission, was delivered to your office on August 11th. Therefore, your only function, duty, and job was to then notify Parliament for debate to begin. You had no discretion to do anything else. You could not allow anyone to withdraw anything. And that's the issue, Khadija. Forget all the drama. Forget all the talk. We wanted debate. We did not want to vote and go. We wanted, if you say vote and go, we did not agree with the guidelines. And the guidelines that the speaker made were illegal. We wanted secret ballot. We wanted certain things that ensure our democracy survives. These PNM just want to move forward.
You can't do that. You cannot transgress against the constitution of this country. Transgress against the citizens and our rights. And in an office where you are elected to protect the constitution and expect us to just dismiss it and forget it. This is a slippery slope. Today you want to dismiss, well, yeah, didn't send the lesson time. Tomorrow it will be what? And we are seeing a progression towards a type of dictator rule where somebody do something, there is no punishment, there is no consequences, and that is what we have to protect against. To say that the president is above scrutiny is, I mean...
But let me also read from the Sunshine this week on page issue number 178, Friday, 29th October 2021. Oh, today, Sunshine. Would you believe that the president made Bliss Sipasad chairman of the Police Service Commission and her sister, Sharice Sipasad, an independent senator, in the same year? Would you believe that this is not normal for one family to be so blessed at the hands of the same president? Would you believe that in a country of 1.5 million people, Her Excellency could not find any other family to whom she could have been so generous? This is the point. Madam, you are the president of Trinidad and Tobago. This sort of closed circuit family and connection, this Bishop's Tea Party is not on. If I am the president, now I don't ever want to be that, those things bore me to death, okay? So, but don't get tired. But if I am the president, I love Fatima College. So are you telling me that I am only going to appoint in the position all the old boys who I went to school with and so on? No. You must look for some from down in Labre, Maclot, Tobago, Presentation, Naparima, Pres, Chaguanas, and Shiva boys. You must look for some women from St. Augustine Girls, St. Joseph Convent South.
Mix it up.
How can you get in one family an independent senator and the chairman of a police service commission? You as the president probably have, let's say, 30 people to appoint. And 2 of them come from the same family, number one. And 12 of them come from Bishop's Anstey. That is not right. That is not on. That is not democracy. You are not the president of your friend and family. But Khadija, I see it right here on the live. Well, first of all, congratulations to you and the citizens who came out to highlight the neglect in St. Augustine. Y'all could go on Facebook and see it. It's unbelievable, and across the country we've seen sinkhole in St. Anne's in the constituency of Stuart Smallpin Young, the super O'Halloran minister, Rowley's great minister. People could have crashed into that and died. Could you imagine if you're coming down the road at 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers per hour, and the road sinks in front of you and you go head on into concrete, into dirt, into mud, and your children are in the back and they fly through a windscreen? Let me tell you, this is not funny, and this is happening all over. I thought St. Augustine was a kind of elite like Diego Martin, because Diego Martin, I in Rowley constituency, It a imbut, and then it a the nose breaker. But Diego Martin is a total complete mess, and but St. Augustine worse, Khadija.
Listen to me. A couple of Fridays ago, we were on Dry River Bridge. When you come off the highway by the Tunapuna Hindu School by Radio Jagrati, there's a road that is an alternative to the highway that was built since John Humphrey times. And that passed through the back and take you out by Caroni roundabout. The Orange Grove Road has a bridge there that is collapsing. The hole bigger than a vehicle. Cracking. And every time it rains, it gets worse. We have another bridge in Blackman Ravine in Spring Village, again, cracking. It could fall down. Now, that bridge on Orange Grove Road, all kind of vehicles is be passing there. It could collapse anytime. Since I became an MP, I've been asking Rohan Sinanan, what is the next fella for local government name?
Kazem Hussein.
Kazem Hussein. Talk to you nice, you know. You just take my phone call, you know.
Yes.
But no action. And I've been begging, and this is a simple, when I say a relatively simple project, because there are other more complex projects like landslips and things, which, you know, might take a more technical expertise and so on. This is a simple bridge to fix over.
But pause. Let me tell you why. You see what, when you say, Kazem Hussein, nice fella. He taking your calls.
But he ain't doing nothing?
Right. But here why. You see, when people want to make joke and compare PNM and UNC and say the same thing, it is not. Kazem Hussein had no rank in the PNM. Rohan Sinanan, since the Bridgman's fiasco, when they stopped the first tender and so on, and then Bridgman's come in, Rowley put he on the sidelines. The only people who are getting resources to work are the recusal twins and those who Rowley believe in. So, Noel Garcia, wherever he is, you go get things done. So if you call Noel Garcia to fix your road, you might get it quicker than Kazem Hussein. But this is the problem, because the PNM is a cult, and under Rowley, even the ministers afraid him. So Kazem Hussein cannot go and argue with Rowley. Do you think about a cabinet meeting? I now tell you that under Kamala Prasad Bisesa with 5 parties, everybody could talk. So much so that you get fed up on your board. The meeting start 10 a.m. and you're there till 10 p.m. and Douglar and them still talking. And this thing, Rowley and Kazem Hussein, while he answer your call, he don't have the testicular fortitude to go in a cabinet and say, Prime Minister, I have been allocated this. The Minister of Finance is not giving me allocation. People are cussing me. People are calling me. Even my own councillors and UNC councillors. Oh God, give me the thing. He can't argue, because if he argue, Khadija, he outside. That is PNM way. So the country suffers under the PNM, because if you're not in Rowley K-Pax, you don't get nothing.
Well, recently, Mr. Rohan Sinanan found his testicles. There was somebody planted some balize in the potholes on Evans Street. Right. Evans Street runs along.
Oh, that is in your constituency? Yes. I saw that on Facebook, yeah.
So, I've never seen balize growing in St. Augustine constituency. So, somebody made an effort. Went and get balize and planted them. That happened on Republic Day. 3 weeks later, a contract was awarded to save Evans.
Khadija, pause. On Douglar Radio here, with Khadija, we are telling, y'all always ask, Anil, so much talk. But look to the left of the screen. Khadija Amin, Rudy Indar Singh, Dave Tanku, Lakram Bodo, across the board, action across Kuva South, all over, Rishi Sicharan, UNC MPs hitting the ground, moving around. Okay, all you want action? Hear the action now. In and across Trinidad and Tobago this week, I want in every major pothole to see balize. I want you all across the country from Labre to Matlot, straight across down in Carnage, in between in Couva, Pinal, Barakpo, all you go in the bush, cut balize and put balize in every major pothole and put it up on Facebook. Let we see some action. Since all you want action, I, Anil, the Douglar, are calling on all you to do that. Balize in all the pothole, because, as Khadija said, the citizen who put the balize in the pothole and put it up on Facebook, 3 weeks later, they got redress. So I want all you across the country, throughout. If you say Cuba South is the worst roads, if you say Tabakit, Gasparillo to Tabakit is the worst, if you say Freeport, down in La Brea by Victor Roberts, Point 14, Mayaro, all over Cedros, Fullerton, I want to see Balize out of the bush and into every single major pothole. Let me see all you. Action time.
I have a pothole in Currap, corner McEnroy and Joyo Street that a whole man fitting in. You could go up on my MP for St. Augustine page and you will see it on the corner of McEnroy. So that will tell you, and Currap is a built-up area.
Yeah.
Currap not in the bush, Currap not some place where two people living in a long, long road and you want to use that as an excuse not to service their road. This is, and I'm telling you, this is happening throughout the country. So it have potholes too big and too dangerous for a man to even go down in it fast to know. You know, so...
No, but really and truly, it's damaging people's vehicle. Look at the cost of transport now. Gas price going up over $100, oil price over $100. They say next year $200. That is going to transfer into the people squeezing gas in the car.
But
their
of
price
course,
will multiply by 3.
Of course, we already have a Currap taxi drivers said that they are being forced to send up their taxi fares. In Orapun, most of the taxis are PH cars. Their vehicles damaging so much. Then when they have to charge people to come in there again. We have several places where the PTSC buses can no longer go because of the bad roads. And so we have to rely on the PH cars. And they are being forced to send up their price. Who pays? It comes out of the pockets of the citizens. And that is why I say people have to stand up. You can't study whether you like Rowley or you like Kamala or who you like and who you don't like. This is about you. This is about you having to pay more out of your pocket to fix your vehicle, more out of your pocket to take a taxi because the road is bad. You have to pay more in the grocery to feed your children. That is what we are about. So this is about you. This is about people. This is not about politics. And I tell people that people use the excuse to sit down quietly and say, well, I'm not into politics. You don't have to be into politics. Well, hear this.
You know why they do that? We have been conditioned by Dr. Williams since 1956 for the PNM to stay in power on top of the gerrymandering and the control of the EBC and the boundaries and so on. There are two things that Dr. Williams did that stick with us politically. He divided the country racially in politics. We don't get divided for nothing else, Christmas, Diwali, Eid, Carnival, celebration,
everybody is one.
Great race, we all won. The only time we divided by design is when you call election. That was done by Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, and it continues. The second thing that they do is the media, no matter what the PNM does, they try to hide it, obfuscate it, change it, and kick the can down the road. And if that cannot work, what they do is say, the PNM do this and Rowley is bad, but the UNC just as bad. So what that does, it puts in the minds of citizens, UNC, PNM, same thing. So it's not worth the effort to go and read and research who have better policies and so on. You just lump everybody together. And when you rock back and you take no interest, bam, PNM come and make noise, wind their neck around, put on a red jersey and pom-pom shorts. And next thing you know, low voter turnout, Keith Rowley is Prime Minister.
No, let me tell you, people know the reality of what took place. I'm telling you, I was over the highway. We have the Macoya Wholesale Market named after Norris Deonorine in the heart of St. Augustine.
Right. Deonorine, but I'm a boy.
But I just miss that man. You see, these times I miss him.
He would have been out front there.
He is a constituent born and bred in Currap. And that road by Macoya Market there, in the back they have a lot of farmers. Macoya Extension, Orange Grove Extension, those areas over the highway have a lot of agricultural land.
Right.
If you see the roads there, vehicles to bring agricultural produce out could barely pass, could barely come
imagine
out.
how the vans and the pickups mashing up.
Of course, the drainage is another issue. Simple things for the Ministry of Agriculture to do to clear the drain.
Clarence, you goat.
I see Blue Waters have some obstacles in the drain that I want attended to, but everybody in agriculture like they're afraid to interfere with it. Anywhere else, if there's an obstacle blocking the water course, it is removed by the authorities. But like they're afraid to touch Blue Waters. And the farmers flooding out. When you see water, it's like an ocean in back there. And the farmers are suffering the loss. and that is sending up food prices in
And
the
what
market.
about the compensation for the farmers? in
What
the public?
compensation? You're lucky if you get enough money to buy seed. So I'm telling you, it has an impact. So even if you are not a farmer, when a farmer has all his crops flooded out and he lose, the prices go up because of its
Yes.
scarcity. Whether you're buying it in high-low or you're buying it in the market.
Wherever it's going up.
So again, it has an impact on you. And we in this country have enough land to feed our nation. We have
Rowley,
farmers-
hey, Khadija, wait, you're disagreeing with Rowley? 4 years ago, Rowley said, and I quote, "What are y'all worried about Trinidad and Tobago? We don't have enough land space for agriculture. Agriculture is not viable in Trinidad and Tobago."
Well, then I find he should give up the farm he have in Tobago.
Well, first of all, you had to ask him where he get them animals. Show me the bills, how much he paid, who he paid
Avinash
them.
might have the bills.
Did he get it from a repo? All right. Let me read something for you too. Because this is what you're speaking about. And when the Express, and I must say that the Express since October 2020 has started to return to journalism. Not fully, but they're much better than they were between 2010 and 2015 when they had
Every
Asha
so
Javid and
often
them.
you get something fair
Yes.
and decent coming out
Right.
of them.
So, in their opinion, Thursday, 28th October, page 12, rural neglect in action. Remember that because Kamla Prasad Bissessa and the UNC is saying, Dave Tanku especially when he is showing that Rohan Sinanan is a dishonest fella and did not live up to his word with the pumps and the flooding that is going on down there and so on. Michelle Benjamin with the roads and the bridges and the landslide, 285 landslide down in
Hey, that is quick
in
to tell you
Maruga.
you're exaggerating and you're a troublemaker, you know. When Michelle Benjamin highlighting those things,
Yes,
whole
they send
houses,
police to look for people.
People whole upstairs house,
Fall
two-story
down.
house, gone down the
Yeah.
landslip. And they say Michelle exaggerating.
Look,
and they
David
find-
Lee down in Claxton Bay. Up to now, the
Yes.
people ain't get no redress, no discussion. They went down there. The lady who get wet with she weave in the Senate went down there to take a picture, and that the last time they see she. But in the Express opinion page editorial, rural neglect in action. The UNC has been crying and saying there's geographic discrimination in this country being practiced by Rowley and the PNM. The Express now realize, 6 years later, rural neglect in action. When people are struggling with the flooding of their homes and unending disruptions caused by landslides and collapsed roads, it is nothing short of callous for the Minister of Works to describe them as a group who feel they want revolution in Trinidad and Tobago. While we can understand Minister Rohan Sinanan's bristling at the opposition's declaration of October revolution over the protest over the non-repair of landslides, his lack of empathy for the plight of the citizens struggling with floods and landslides is inexcusable.
Them
Right,
don't go no way to see the reality on the ground, you know. So when Michelle say, look, I have X number of landslips, they find that song, that is too horrible to be true. And that is correct. It should not be, something like that should not be the truth. But these ministers don't come out. And the reality what people are facing is something that is alien
You know,
to them.
I know what Michelle's saying true. When the great Dekoto was the member of parliament for Maruga Tableland, every week Dekoto used to come and say, Prime Minister, the land slips, I need them and I need them. And the Prime Minister Kamala used to go in the first instance to Jack Warner and say, Jack Warner, sit down with Minister Dekoto, please, and work out a plan. I am tired hearing him complain. But at that time, they were like 185 or 200
It's
land slips,
unbelievable,
right?
eh?
And he and Jack Warner sat down and they put extra money towards it and they dealt with about 40 per year. So they got it down to about 60. So they still had 60 to do when I left the cabinet in 2014. But then, in 6 years of Lovell Francis, a man who went Martinique and come to put people in Maracas Bay with electricity and big wave with alcohol to drown and get shocked. That dunce Lovell Francis. He obviously did nothing. So we are back up to about 260, 285 landslides in Maruga Tableland alone. Rohan Sinan come and say, yes, we're going to fix 40 landslips in Trinidad.
In the whole country.
In the whole country, Maruga Tableland had 285. But he coming to boast. In the whole country, he going and fix 40 this year.
That's the level of care you have from them. I'm telling you, the thing is, he says, to me, he should be ashamed. Rohan Sinanan, as the Minister of Works, responsible for millions of dollars in that ministry, should be so ashamed to come and say, he going and fix 40 landslips.
Because you see, I think he fixed more landslip by Palmzanilla. You have a place down in Manzanilla called Palmzanilla. I hear they fix landslip there. Asking you, Rohan, how much load? 46 load. Where that 46 load went? Eh? What kind of fish you get? How you get it? I come in to check your bills, you know. How Palmzanilla going? Because in the coastal erosion budget, we're not seeing it down there. Rohan, don't start me, you know, because when I start on your case, I will put Palmzanilla straight up on Facebook for about a month, eh?
And another thing that the government continues to say, when citizens ask for landslips to be fixed, roads to be paved, bridges to be rebuilt, they say, well, the country doesn't have any money, we are in a recession, all you have to understand, be patient. But I telling you, I am in St. Augustine constituency. The eastern main road is the boundary. North of me there is Tunapuna constituency, St. Joseph constituency, Mr. Lopino Bonnet, west. And I am seeing roads paving up there. I am seeing box drains being built. I am seeing retaining walls being built. So is it that they don't have money for UNC constituencies? I am on the East-West corridor and I am seeing my neighbors right over the road getting fixed up. Even with the CPEP in terms of cutting grass and so on. We walk in Oropun today. Boy,
I just watch all you walking on some pavement that look like all you walking in razor grass.
That is what we have to contend with, and that might be the good part. So I'm saying that this narrative they are creating that the country don't have money is something that is another convenient excuse.
No, the country don't have money for you. You see, you want to help people. The country have money for recusal. When Small Pin come and talking about oil price and gas price going up and things will be good. Things will be good in the cabinet. You will get 200 more. You will get 200 more recusal. Yeah. But that will not trickle down to the school feeding, to the children life fund, to the baby grant, to the differently able grants, to the roads, to the grass, to the pothole, to the job creation. That is not for all you. All you is to wean yourself off the government.
And that sense of injustice that is being created is what is angering people. Because even with all the allegations that the PNM make against the UNC government, you could swear UNC went by the treasury with a truck and load up money and drive out. And they continue with this narrative. But you know what people say? Regardless of what they know that they were being attended to.
Okay, well, let me ask you this way. Let us pretend that nonsense that Rowley says about the UNC is true, right? That the UNC is the most corrupt ever. Okay. Let's pretend that is true. But under the UNC and Kamala spent so far $40 billion less than Rowley. But under Kamala, the roads in the entire country were better. The sea bridge was operating. Tobago had more tourists across the board, local tourists and 97,000 international tourists. Education, 106 schools. Hospitals had medicine. She built hospitals. She built Arima, Couva Hospital, Start Point 14 Hospital. She built Aquatic Center, Cycling Velodrome, Tennis Center. She built Point 14 Highway. Kamuto Manzanilla, they spent $400 million on some highway, not an inch of road paved yet and the money done. So with all due respect, Rowley, if you say the UNC vacuum the treasury, but people were getting jobs, getting service, getting the grants, getting the VAT on time, and now nothing working. Your vacuum bigger? You use a vacuum? You use a sucker?
And where it gone? And
that's what Manning asked him. Where the money gone? Exactly.
So people in this country are seeing that, and that sense of injustice, that sense of unfairness, where it's only about friends, family, and financiers. And while the small man, if things hard in this country, it has to be hard for everybody. One man can be collecting 20 million in rent, and a child is starving, and a child is dying because they cannot get a surgery done under the Children's Life Fund, while they twiddle their thumbs. And I think that all of those are things
people forget about that as you say that. as we swear in, and Kamala Prasad Bisesa swear in as Prime Minister, from the very first month paycheck, 10% of Kamala Prasad Bisesa's salary, 10% after taxes come out, they are the next thing to come out, 10% would go from her check direct into the Children Life Fund. And every minister, all 32 other ministers, 5% for every month went into the Children Life Fund. What the PNM give? Not a cent. And children having barbecue, curricue, even the Wali PNM having curricue with chicken.
And what that created, because the Prime Minister was given out of her salary, the ministers were given out of their salary to the Children's Life Fund. Throughout this country, you had NGOs, people who were giving and raising funds and donating it to the Children's Life
And
Fund.
companies, yes.
Organizations, corporate organizations,
Yes.
and so on, because they
Follow
had that
the leadership.
confidence.
Correct.
No, now, as it is now, first of all, Alwari can't even make a decision to sign off on a child to get the child die. That child life, man, is on your hands, man. If it was your children, you would not have allowed that to happen.
No, he had no children. He ain't him claim them two. Remember the two that was shooting? Dinah only.
It's not his children
Well,
anymore.
he claim it.
Well,
And
none of them.
Rowley
none-
does only claim inside, outside, you know.
None of those children who you denied ever had to face a life-threatening
Al-Rawi
disease to
tell
get
me
surgery.
when they had a live spot and Asha Javid and the Express lying all the time on live spot and they bring out motion and live spot. Al-Rawi got up in the parliament and tell me $75 for breakfast and lunch. That is madness. The school feeding program is doing it for $9. I say you want to give big, strong, hardback black people, young boys from 16 to 25, $10 to eat. I say you ought to be a madman when you go in trotters. I tell him just so. I say when you in trotters lineman with your boys and them, your appetizer does cost $92. You getting vexed. And not only that, it's not only breakfast and lunch, it's water and juice, and then it's security to go up in them. In those areas, you can't just drive up there. That food and
Yeah,
things
but
have to
you
go up
see,
there
none
security.
of them from Alwari come back giving their children a lunch, a meal, and a $9 meal.
Exactly.
So why must the children, listen to me, the hardships people are facing out there. I mean, children cannot study on a hungry belly, and they don't care because they do not face it.
But they cut school feeding under Tim Gopi Singh and Kamala Prasad Bisesa, September 2015. And up to that budget, they were giving out 76,000 breakfasts and lunches per day to school. Rowley cut that in 2016 down to 48,000.
They know what they said? They said they were cutting wastage.
Oh, wastage
So
is
feeding
feeding
your
poor
children,
people. Yes.
feeding poor people children
It's wastage.
is wastage. Even when with the COVID pandemic and you had the lockdown, you must find ways to provide meals to parents who cannot afford. You have the data. You know the children who have requested meals. You know the children whose families cannot afford to feed them.
Correct.
Children are hungry. Apart from having a device to go on, they're barely eating. They're hungry. They are growing children. Your children are not starving. Your children are eating a piece of dry bread. That is a reality, you know. People eat a piece of dry bread on a morning and they have school. They drink some sugar water. Sometimes they even have sugar to put in the water. I experienced meeting people, I mean, you know, so
No.
when we say it, they feel
Hannah,
we're making it up.
Talk and tell them, because you see, as an MP, I mean, I am on the ground quite a bit. But when I was an MP and I had to go into every nook and cranny, and Glenn Ramadan Singh, as Minister of the People, under Kamala Prasad Bisesa, created something called direct impact.
Yeah.
That was the greatest thing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, poor people don't have money to go and travel in town to fill out a form. Poor people don't have money to buy newspaper to see the advertisement that tells them, come into town to the Ministry of Social Development to fill out this form. What Glenn Ramadan Singh did was to go out to each MP's office with his entire staff from the Ministry of the People created by Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and they would come to the people in their where they live in. You would not want to believe some of our citizens and our people, where they are living and how they're living. and they would fill out the forms and bring the food card and bring the grants and so on and give it to them. Poor people don't have no money to waste. Them studying to eat. You feel them studying to take $20 to go in town?
Yes, even the salary relief grant, yeah,
Yes.
people had to travel so many times to go.
How
into
many in your
Forest Hill.
constituency you know
Oh
that
God,
get that?
is hundreds.
They wanted, how much get?
How many applied? Hundreds of people applied.
Hundreds apply. How much get?
We just had a few who got.
About
Right?
40. Let me say 40 and 300, 400
many of them
apply.
have been getting run around. Your roof blow off, part of your house fall down, flood hit you, storm, freak storm.
But I'm with
we
self-help.
we fill out the form for self-help. In 1 week I had about 32 applications. 7 people get approved.
So one
And
to the other 25.
they visit, they say, well, yeah, you really have a needy case, and that is it. I have a lady, and you have to see the COVID pandemic is making it worse. There's a lady in my constituency who is a caterer. Her daughter graduated from university with a degree in with the ocean, marine biology.
Right.
And part of her roof blow off. She's a caterer. She has a vehicle, so she's living on the little that she has. She does not have money to replace her roof. She had a nice little husky dog. She had to sell the dog to pay for the car so she could continue to use her car to do the few deliveries for
Sell
the few
she family member
orders.
to make money. To,
You understand? And self-help visited her, and they felt that because she lived in a decent house, they
Yeah.
feel she looked like she could afford. You could look at a person and say they look like they could afford.
But Khadija, that's what the PNM has done. When Kamala was there, for example, with the autistic grant, there was an autistic grant for children. And it didn't matter what mother make or father make because the grant is for the child who is
That's
suffering autism.
That's
right. The PNM came in and said, listen, we are going to do a means test. And if you working and you have a good job in the bank or something and you have an autistic child, they take away the grant for you because you earning too much. That is the kind of nonsense. So if you earning a good salary, that means that your child is not autistic. Kamala Prasad Bisesa says the grant is for the child. So it's irrelevant what mommy, daddy, auntie, nene, whoever, that's not your business. The grant is for the citizen who is the child. So therefore you qualify. The PNM come and create a means test and then taking away grant from autistic children.
Yes.
And people feel voting had no consequence.
Many of the grants in social welfare for the less fortunate in our society, the requirements have changed. People who barely eking out a living do not qualify for some of these grants. People who are disabled, they get in either $1,300 or $1,500 a month, but they are saying that they cannot. There are a lot of other things that they do not get. How much $1,500 could do for a month?
No, well, you explain to the people, you know, because I try to explain to them. Because the other day I went to just get some milk and some coffee or something, and it's $100, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, the reality for a disabled person is that many times the things that they require, so there are some of them who will need adult pampers, for instance, that is very expensive. They may need a special bed. They may need a room that is particularly equipped for them. Their nutrition requirements might be
reach
different.
about 2,500.
So that
1,200 extra.
It cannot.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to take your calls. I am sitting in with the Honorable MP for St. Augustine, Khadija Amin. We're coming back.
Hi, this is Michael Douglar, attorney at law. I'm inviting you to join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. on MCTV for the Social Contract. It's a new show where we will be discussing bills that are being debated in Parliament, topical legal issues and recent decisions of our courts, and where we'll be giving general legal advice on issues that affect you, the public. I encourage all of you to continue looking at MCTV, bringing you back to where you belong.
Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown. Your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock. Alive Rhythms Communications Network, Local Palooza Show and Countdown, coming soon on MCTV. The Local Palooza Show and Countdown.
Focus Studios proudly presents Diwali Lights, a virtual concert. Join us on MCTV on Sunday, October 31st from 5 p.m. and enjoy live performances from Reshma Ramlal, Satnarayan Raghu, Anuradha Hansraj,
प्यार के लिए चार पल कम नहीं थे कभी तुम नहीं थे कभी हम नहीं
Anthony Batson, and so many more. May the light of Mother Lakshmi spread to the dark corners of our world through music and song. Special thanks to our valued sponsors: Focus Studios, Factory Concepts, Lullaby Group, Drumsy Entertainment, BH Sound Company, Mohammed's Indian Delicacies, Bacchanal Radio, Classy Dolls Makeup Artistry, Printer Ting, Beauty Secrets by Natasha, Pawan Wholesalers Limited, Annie's Roti Shop, U975,
Hot like pepper.
Multicultural Radio, and MCTV. Diwali Lights, a virtual concert, a festival of songs, an evening of beauty and praise. Only on MCTV.
Happy Diwali.
And welcome back. Good evening. You're on U97.5 FM Douglar Radio. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
I think we lost that call.
All right, let's go. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Anil, and
Good evening,
Turn
caller.
down the bed a bit. Yeah. Not right.
Yes.
But yeah, good evening.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is the Constitution the supreme law of the land?
Yes,
It is, right?
correct.
Okay. But someone breached that Constitution and caused my life to be endangered.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I have the right to take that person to task?
Yes, you certainly do.
So why it is, there is nothing in the Constitution that says the Parliament can do anything to except what the madness that we went through,
Yes.
where we know we couldn't get through with that. But can the citizens bring a class action against this president?
Well, I'm not sure about the legal, that part. When we get Jayanti, Lakshmi Dayal or Saddam and so on, we'll talk about that. However, the first, it begins with, as you said, your understanding is quite clear and you're accurate. The Constitution, you see, the framers did not envisage such political interference and weakness in the office of the president. They always envisage that the office of the president will act in a higher order, like how Nur Hassan Ali, the great president, acted. They did not envisage that a politician will get control of that office and make them go against the Constitution. So the people have to keep the pressure up. But if there is anything to do in the courts, the lawyers in the United National Congress and other lawyers, just general in Trinidad and Tobago, will be looking at it. But you are correct.
But Anil, I want you to hear the angle I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Now, if this individual, by chance tomorrow morning, is caught raping a child, what happens? It has to go through the same process?
You're asking
Hello?
some those are very good, very difficult questions.
Yes, because as a layman,
All right, but I can't answer it right now. Let's take a time. It's a very good question. We will get somebody to answer it. I think we'll have to read it and see if the president is convicted. You're saying not this president, but in general, in theory, in a hypothetical case of a criminal charge. I think the Constitution is clear that they could be removed from office. But I'm not sure of the process with a criminal charge, if it is the exact same process or if there's another process. So it's a brilliant question, I don't answer questions when I don't have the answer. So I will hold that. I will stick a small pin there, and I will find somebody who can answer that clearly for you. Okay?
Yeah, because as it stands, Anil and Khadija, as it stands, they're going on as if not.
Well, that's the problem. But we not. We not. We going and we are continuing.
The October Revolution has to do with that.
Well, that's what it has to do with. And it is, I don't want you to hope so, you know. I want you to support us.
You have to be a part of it, caller.
You and everybody else next to you. Your family, your gardener, your neighbor, your helper, your employees, your friends, your school colleagues. That's how we will do it. People power, because we're in darkness right now.
Yeah, and we I mean, but in spite of that, we need a leader.
Well, we have the leader. Kamla Prasad Bisesa has begun. Khadija is out there. They have Rudy Ndassing was out there. Dave Tanku is out there. I am out there. Jolene John is out there. Wade Mark is out there. Damian Lyda is out there. Lakrambodo is out there. Anita Haynes is out there. Oh, Saddam Hussein is out there. Their leaders all.
Hear what I am saying. What I'm saying. In spite of all of that, she's going ahead and appoint up.
Okay, but sir, stop. You're singing like you want to cry. We must not cry. She is wrong. Hold on. Hold on.
Man jumping on a plane tomorrow.
All right. Okay. Well, we have to fight. So you are correct. But that must motivate you to get out and get rid of them. The only way we have now is to get out there and protest straight across from now till they leave. So that's the action. That's what we do. All right, so let's go. So we agree. They're too damn bold-faced. They stamp and trample the Constitution, and they're moving ahead. And he have COVID-19 contact, but he going on a plane while we cannot even go in our beach. But all of us outside there listening must be fed up together. Because if you just want Anil go out, I can go out there. I can get on bad. They lock me up. What happened? All you forget about me, no Douglar politics, no Douglar radio, and I eating bread and cricks.
This must be a movement for the people, man.
God bless. 218-7762. Good evening. Khadija Amin is here with us, MP for St. Augustine. Good evening.
Hi, Anil.
How are you going?
Khadija and yourself.
Yes, caller.
Yes, Khadija, I was listening to you earlier on, speaking about the trouble Kamala had to manage the partnership government.
That was, Anil Roberts was a minister in that cabinet, so he was sharing his experiences, yes.
Yes, and he realized what was going on, that's why he remained with Kamala.
Absolutely correct.
You know the way Kamala managed that, and the people in this country adopted this worldwide.
Correct.
Not only by Ban Ki-moon, everybody was paying attention to what was going on in Trinidad.
Correct.
Right? And Kamala received accolades from the Queen, everybody, boy. And look how they treat us, let me forget the PNM. Pandey and all these fellas still trying to pull down Kamala, boy.
Well, because you see, Tabanka ain't easy, eh? I love the lion.
Man can take the thing, man can't take them all.
Yeah.
Even after Kamala was opposition, she get invited by the Bahamas for a special award.
Yes.
Guyana, when they get the oil, they want to Rowley. They call for Kamala for advice.
Correct.
No
Correct.
other country in the world would treat a daughter this way like that, boy.
Exactly. Blessings. Thank you. And that's the point. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was absolutely brilliant in managing a 5-party government. You all like to just run all your mouth on Kamla, slow your roll and check the facts. Hello. Good evening. Hello. 218-7762. Good evening. Hello. 218-7762. And we're here with Khadija Amin, MP for St. Augustine. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening, Anil.
Good
evening. Khadija.
Hi, caller, good evening.
And to everybody out there. You see, Anil, he had to tell 20 lies to cover this one lie with the golf cart, because he know that he should not have been on the golf course, but sitting in the Prime Minister's office doing the country's business. So he had to make excuses for what it has happened there. Another thing, Anil, when we heard Jerry Brooks was telling everybody that Kamala's government took $16 billion from NGC, right? And he don't know what she did with it. When he went to the Joint Select Committee, we heard it was actually well, he had to talk you through there. 14 billion. Lo and behold, he gave then the new PNM government almost $4 billion at that first budget to run their budget, but you didn't hear a word about it. And when he was asked, he said that the partnership government used the money for things outside the purview of NGC.
Let me ask you something.
Yes,
Number
sir.
one, the partnership government utilized the resources that belong to the people for the people, whether it was for recreation grounds, drainage, road, rehab, and so on. And secondly, let me ask you this. Since Jerry Brooks have diarrhea, verbal diarrhea, how come when he resigned from NGC, because Rowley and Smallpin tell him and his engineers and his people at NGC, shut up and let us negotiate the gas price in Houston? Why he didn't talk out all
Why
that?
he didn't talk then?
So
But
tell
when
Jerry
he was
Brooks
asked,
harshly.
Anil,
Yeah.
when he was asked, he said that they used it for recreational grounds, to fix roads, to
Well,
fix
so
this,
what is that
and the
for?
other.
That's for the
So
people.
I want to know, is the purview of NGC, isn't that for the purpose of the people of the country? My question is, what are they doing with the money now? You are not hearing a word what they're doing with, if we getting any money at all from NGC. But you see, that man was the next call the heart, sitting on 14 state boards, and he telling everybody, oh, I'm only getting a stipend of 72,000, sorry, 72,000.
A stipend.
Anil, only have a good night.
evening. And we say a special good evening on Facebook. Gideon Williams said, Khadija, woman with a big heart. Tommy Mohammed, good evening, good evening. Edmund Parmasa, Premjat Badnat, Anna Munsani, Katie Acton, Nicole Muller, good evening. Indra Popswasil, Jennifer Ross Bash, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
A very good evening to you, Anil.
Good evening.
This government is slowly reminding me of the cult-like Republican Party in the U.S. The behavior is exactly like that. And we're heading down a wrong road. And one more thing, how on earth could the Prime Minister travel to England to that climate conference? And you were saying earlier on,
Exactly.
when he's a primary contact.
Exactly. Thank you, my brother. And that's the point, Khadija.
There is one rule for them and one rule for you. That is the injustice we are standing up against.
Mother-in-law, but I don't have nothing.
Good evening, mother-in-law. How you going? What you have?
Hey. Nice. I called to find out something
Yes.
that I have not seen anybody brought to the attention. If it is the Prime Minister going to Scotland tomorrow, how it is he going to Scotland if he takes Sinopharm and Scotland is not allowing anybody who takes Sinopharm to enter the country? That is what I want to know.
Hold on there, girl. Girl, good question. Is that true that Sinopharm is not?
It is not,
it's
because
not approved by
I Googled
Scotland.
it. I checked all the countries, and Scotland is one of the countries that ban people from coming into the
Well-
country. They take Sinopharm.
Well, you know he does
So how
lie.
it is-
He does
So
lie
how it is
in
he takes
Parliament.
Sinopharm and going to Scotland tomorrow?
Well, after he fill out the landing card, we go get it and we go tell the Scottish people that he lie because they
But
would
how
not
come
let him in.
nobody not asking that question?
Because you brighter than everybody, girl. So, well done. I didn't even think about
The
that.
whole week I waiting for
Yeah.
Stephen Reyes or Ian Allen or anybody to ask that question, but nobody not asking that
You
question.
know, you want to know something?
What's that?
That's why you don't have to wait. All of us is strength and power in the people. Look, I telling you, I know many things. I researching plenty things. I working hard. And that never crossed my mind until you now say it. So you are
Well,
brilliant.
it was in the papers last week, and from the time I see it, I remember reading an article where they put up a list of countries that not accepting certain vaccines.
Yes.
And Scotland was one of the countries that was not accepting Sinopharm.
The point
So
I
what
am
vaccine
making.
he really take and how he go in there?
Exactly. But and also he should not go because he's a primary contact and he should be in quarantine.
Exactly.
But what?
If it is he bungs this woman and she get COVID, how it is he going to Scotland tomorrow?
Exactly. And on top of that, the main point I get from this call, my dear, that is the power of unity and the people. All of us together are strong. We cannot just depend on Khadija and this one. Look at what information you brought. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's
but
why.
nobody
We
That
need
question, 'cause
everybody.
He's going to say that is not nobody business.
Well,
Right. So-
that's why we
so
should
that
get
is
rid
the
of him.
point.
He
That
does
is-
not deserve to be a prime minister.
That is the point, that we cannot stand up and wait for somebody who is a leader or somebody who is out there to speak and wait to see if Anil will say it or wait to see if somebody else will say it. Caller, you have it right. This is the power of people, so that you could call into the show and share an idea that may not have surfaced. And that is what's speaking out, and
Thank
whether
you.
it is social media or calling in radio program and so on.
That's a great question, my lady. Thank you very much. Have
No
a
problem.
great
Have a good night.
Have a great night. That is brilliant. I didn't even study that. Good evening.
Good evening again, Anil.
Hello.
I just called to apologize. When I called you just now, I said good evening, Anil, and I didn't say Khadija. I'm so sorry, Khadija.
Gosh, you called
Very
back
good evening
just
to
to
you.
tell me good evening.
You
I
see?
appreciate it
That-
very much.
That is man. That is man. That is Trini man. Courtesy, chivalry, brilliance. That what Rowley don't have. Rowley is a disgusting, no decorum human being. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. The radio station.
Yes, you're right, man.
Oh, okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to ask a question. Concerning the illegal migrants that coming in, I wanted to let people know they're still coming in.
How you know they're
Right.
still coming in? I mean, we know,
Yeah.
but how do you know they're still coming in?
Well, let me tell you, where I live in right now, I see new faces, and they must know if they're here a couple of years, they would have picked up some English, right? And these people are completely, they're coming in right through, and I want to know how it is they're taking the jobs of the youths out there, right? Encouraging the crime to go up and all these things. It's going to happen, right? The economy already in dire straits as it is. You understand? So I just want to know, like, which is, or I would just like to ask you to mention that, and and we need to really clamp down these
Thank
things.
you,
because
my brother.
Open border, they coming in like it's nobody business.
Thank you, my brother. And that's the truth. Porous borders. When Kamala Prasad Bisesa before August 10, 2020 spoke about a security dome, Rowley went and laughed because he didn't even understand what it meant. And now the borders are porous. 2 gut-class vessel reach 3 months now, and it has sailed a bit. There are no diesel, no air guard, no radar, no police roadblocks, nothing going on. People coming in here with Delta and all kind of thing. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Coach Anil. Good evening, Coach Miss Amin. Good evening, Kokio.
Good evening,
Good evening. All right, here what's going on. I don't know what you news on that much, right? But there was a feature on Guardian Media, right? CNT the other day with Daniel Lovelace from Washington and Farah Sawari, right? And they was eating pepper. And they was tying up pepper, and Farah was crying when he was eating the pepper, and he was backing like a dog. And he had was so shirty type shirt. So, but he don't have to eat pepper. He is going to Parliament in either in House of Representatives and Kamala's bossy shirt, and he's going to Senate and Janty just look him up. Good night.
Good night. Well, let me tell you, while we laugh, understand how dastardly and devious that pepper thing, that program is. Because Al-Rawi is under pressure on all fronts.
So if you come to eat a pepper to look for popularity or make people like him?
The media...
Because Barry Padarat
Right.
was on a thing. That where Barry get him nicknamed the Peppermouth MP because Barry was on a pepper eating competition and he win. Because
Right.
he done the hottest pepper. So you're looking for... The last time he went in some Diwali show there and sing so out of time.
Not only out of time.
And embarrass the people.
But he went and sing Bollywood tune in our Diwali spiritual...
Oh,
Look, you just
well,
had
he
your
doesn't
Diwali.
even understand
He didn't even understand
that
the
Diwali is a religious thing and
Yes.
not a wine and jam
Exactly.
something. I mean, it was an inappropriate song on top of which he was totally
He
off
sang
key.
next to the key, yes.
It wasn't even close to the key, man. Anil, don't give the man too much credit. But what I mean, you're doing all these things. The other day he was on something on Twitter. You're doing all of these things to try to create popularity
This
for yourself.
image, when you have to answer why you did not register, transfer the card licensing with Kewal Singh, why you signed immunity and negotiated with a witness who's now a witness in a criminal proceedings. What is your rental? What is your outfitting of the building? Why did you draft bad law? Who and in your government did you advise to go with and tell the Prime Minister to interfere and interface with the Police Service Commission.
And no amount of tight shirt and
pepper.
tight pants
Yes.
and eating pepper could help you if you are so incompetent.
Good evening. Hello.
It's Anil, Robert.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
To Koki, a blessed night to you. You know when Mrs. Kamala Pasari revolution started? When she won the election. She take out, as soon as all the swearing, he had a clutch, put on she boots and she went out to spend the taxpayers on the taxpayers. And this is what people have to watch. The last 5 years on Prasad Bikasa and the first year under Mr. Rowley. Where did they have their happiness? This government has put this country into darkness. And truth shall conquer evil.
Thank you, my brother. God bless. And we're taking calls quickly because the line's just lighting up. Everybody want to talk to Khadija. And on the Facebook, we're saying good evening to Richard Rampasad, Vidya Mahabia, Samsude Gobadan, Joseph Bando, and Tommy Mohammed. Good evening. Welcome to U97.5. Hot like pepper, but no alra. We here. Hello.
Good night.
Good night.
How are you?
All right.
And good night to Miss Felicia Amen.
Good evening. Hi, how are you, man? Thanks for calling.
Okay for now, but we have a problem. I'm calling from Tinvergwenza Branch Road in Komoto. For the past 3 weeks, within 4 weeks, we do not have any water supply.
Komoto.
Yes.
Well, not only you, half, 3/4 of the country. So your MP, Dr. Rai, has written 4 letters about it in the last 10 days, and we will continue to pressure the Minister of Man. He's studying who driving van rather than getting your water. So we will deal with that. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
And they still have to pay the water bill, eh?
Yes.
Just remember that.
Yes.
Water or no water, you still have to pay your water bill.
Hello, good evening. This PNM sick, yes? Hello.
Well, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Khadija.
Good night,
I'm
good night.
I'm watching the program right now. I'm calling from Canada.
Oh, hi. Nice, man.
And what I want to say is that what it is about Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj. Is he singing for his up on MP plate?
Of course. He want to get the
And
case.
Pandey is so dumb. His mom now that he can't speak.
All right, but hold on. Let me tell you something. I disagree with Pastor Pandey how he's trying to attack Kamala and promote his daughter and son. However, I have so much love and respect for the work and the effort put in over the decades by Pastor Pandey that I cannot sit here and let anybody just attack him. We can disagree with his policy right now, but we don't have to go overdo.
Yeah, but...
All right? Yeah, we can disagree, but we don't have to... We can still love and respect the work that went before. No human is perfect. He is suffering at a banker since 2009, and we have to forgive that. When Kamala beat him, you know.
Yeah, but you know, we have that love and respect for Mr.
Yes.
Pandey, and we also must not fall into the trap of going back into distractions.
Yes,
There are
we want to
people who-
unite.
We have to be united, all of us, and by raising these distractions, it takes us away from what the issue is.
Thank you, my brother. Good evening. Have a great night. 218-7762. We're here. We had to get more line. Hey, they have a WhatsApp number, you know. Corky. 378-4975. 378-4975. That's the WhatsApp number. Good evening. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah?
Listen to this. If Brown is flying out tomorrow, you think we could close down the borders now and lock him out totally?
I wish that was possible. Oh, Lord. You just make me smile. That would be so nice. The
Have a
country
good
will
night.
breathe. You have a great night. That's a lovely thought. Let's just soak that in. And while you all soak that in, understand, as the callers have called in this evening, it's not Khadija already walked 4 hours out in St. Augustine. Every day she's with the people working, begging. There is nothing worse than wanting to help people but knowing that you have to face a PNM with the resources. So it's not only about Khadija, Rudy and Dassing. It's not only about all the Michelle Benjamin, Rushton Parry, Victor Roberts down in Library. He not even an MP, but he bringing out the issues. It's not only about us. We are nothing without you, the people. So if you all fed up, we out there. The October Revolution has begun. Get out and walk. Walk by yourself. Put on a black jersey. You don't need to see Anil to walk. All you walk, take 20 people in your area and just walk spontaneously. Go and cut down Balize. I want to see Balize in pothole. Post it up on Douglar Politics wall. I will share it. I want to see Balize in all them big pothole, Khadija.
I tell you, 3 weeks after somebody planned Balize on Evans Street, Rohan Sananan gave a contract to pave the road. And that is one of the very few roads in St. Augustine constituency that get paved. Page Road, big pothole. A car went down and stick in a pothole on Page Road. They do some patching because of the embarrassment. The road ain't paved yet. But right over the road, Tunapuna constituency road paving. Up by Marvin Gonzalez, their road paving. It is only for the UNC constituencies that this country do have money. So that is why I say, people, we have to speak out. We can't get distracted by naysayers and who want to attack who. We have to stay focused on the issue. The issue is that the right thing must happen from top to bottom. And you are part of that. A lot of people feel they want to see, are waiting to hear if Anil Roberts go talk about it on Douglar Politics. And you're discussing it quietly. We have to speak out. Everybody have a voice. Whether you're on social media, the radio, the TV, wherever you are, even when you go to buy a newspaper in the morning by the parlor,
yes,
you have to be outspoken. And that voice is what the PNM is afraid of. And that is why, just as they symbolically muted out the mic of the opposition in the parliament, they will try to mute you. They will try to keep you quiet. They will try to inject fear in you that you are not safe to speak out.
Wahid Shah says, good night, people. Parvati Ali says, Anil and Khadija keep up fighting for the people. UNC will be victorious. Kimberly Ramirez, good evening. Samsuda Gobadan says, Mahani Makaram, that was for Ramesh. Lockdown from Canada, Vashti Ramesh Kanhai. Frankosh Kunwar Singh is watching. Indra Pusil. Sugi Budram says, Dr. Munilal could sing better than Tight Pants Alwari. Power to the people, says Anthony Victor Bahadur. Balduki, watching from Florida. Ross Johan. Payday has to reset and relax now. So, what we have on the WhatsApp, I see it, you can't get both or what? Or you switch. 218-7762 or on the WhatsApp, 378-4975. So, Khadija, what next? You all went out, you all were brilliant, but we have to keep it going. What are the MPs planning? What are we doing? Because people are fed up.
Well, definitely I can tell you that throughout the country, you will see more people coming out in black jerseys. And I reiterate that this is about a peaceful show of support for democracy. So this is not a case where you're going to have violent protests and so on. It is a peaceful revolution throughout the country and everybody can participate. If 5 of you want to come out and speak out about an issue in your community and you wear black jersey and you come out, you are part of the revolution. If you want to do a Facebook Live in a black jersey and a black mask, speak out. You are part of the revolution. If you want to speak to your family in your homes about this thing,
put on a black jersey.
You are part of the revolution.
Because it's too much. We are oppressed. We are oppressed. Good evening. Corky, is your phone running down there, boy? Oh, daddy, what's up? Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Anil.
Good evening.
And good evening, Miss Khadija.
Good evening, caller.
Calling from Arima.
Yes, sir.
No, I heard about Joan of Arc, Anil. I heard about Wonder Woman. I heard about all these women. Now we see the emergence of the Amazon princess. And everybody look towards Khadija as, this, beauty queen or, whatsoever. is now coming out now that hello.
We are hearing you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We hearing you.
Mr. Anil.
Yes, you said it's now going on about Wonder Woman and thing. Go ahead.
All right. Yes,
Yes.
I was talking about that. And we see the emergence of the Amazon princess, right? And everybody look towards Khadija as this coy, shy, this beauty queen kind of thing. But
serious?
Yes. I've been told that. But all you see is she intelligence and strength. Yes.
Mr. Anil.
Yes, my brother. You see I wear my West Indies, eh?
You remember the opposition member of parliament in Canada? And
Which one?
In Canada. And she stood up to the speaker?
Yes.
And she stood up to the speaker?
Correct. Have a
Right?
good evening.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
correct. God bless. You on the WhatsApp there or the call or what? That's not working. All right, Cocky go organize that next week. We on a Friday. They call or you had a text. Oh no, well I said call, so it's my fault. Sorry. Anil Dotish. Sorry.
Send a message to the WhatsApp
Yes.
number and you call the station number.
Say that again, Khadija. Thank you. It sounds so good.
I really enjoy interacting with these callers. So people could call the telephone line.
218-7762. Call. The WhatsApp.
And send a WhatsApp message.
Not like what Anil tell you about call. Don't call the WhatsApp. Sorry. But remember, my listener from Florida said that we need to get some WhatsApp calls. That's what. So we have WhatsApp messages now. So you can send messages. Corky will read it out. 218-7762. Talk to me, Khadija. We St. Augustine.
Right, so I am in St. Augustine, but I can tell you throughout the country, you will see people emerging. And I want to also say that we are in a situation where this is not, as I say, meant to disrupt the peace or anything. So people can feel safe. And the PNM has injected so much fear in people that when people are invited to participate in these things, the first thing they say, boy, they ain't gonna lock me up.
Yes.
And I want to give people the assurance that you will not be breaking any laws if you abide by this thing peacefully.
We will do it properly, social distance. Good evening, turn down the radio so we can hear you. Good evening and welcome to Douglar Radio. Hello, good evening. 218-7762. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello?
Hi,
yes.
caller.
All right then. Hello, good night, Alan Robert.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
How we getting rid of a bully? We're manning talk about. How we a revolution against he?
Well, hear what?
And he not taking no intimidation from the people.
Okay. Let me tell you how. You ready?
Yeah.
He will not take intimidation from 1-on-1 or 5-on-1. But you see 100,000, 200,000, we will show him the strength through power. So you, me, your partner, I have 12 partners, and everybody across the board bring 12 partners, and we all stand up, and we will show the bully that we will not be bullied, my brother. That's how we do it.
All right then. Well, I have 1,000 soldiers and more.
That's what I want, your 1,000 soldiers, my brother. God bless. So we'll see you out on the road, and then November 30th, black in the savannah, November 30th, Tuesday, November 30th. 218-7762. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Anil.
How are you?
Calling from Parliament.
Oh Lord, I want some spice and thing, boys. I can't cook, but I mean, people go cook for me.
Well, I know that. Anyway, I come to make a contribution here.
Yes.
I have been with the UNC for the past, under the tenure by the Pandey, and I'm still a member of the UNC.
Mm-hmm.
If I does not see some drastic measures when we come back in power, to see some of these people have to make jail or something, some kind of thing, I done with politics total.
Well, the problem. Okay, now you hear a lot of. I'll talk to you while you're off the air, so you listen. All right, but listen very carefully. Yeah? And we in the UNC, we don't talk things that we have no control over. We believe in the Constitution. Criminal prosecutions are the remit of the DPP. If we have any information or we gather any information, we will pass it on to the relevant authorities who are independent, the Commissioner of Police and the DPP's office. So any criminal charges would be under their remit. Those who stand up in on Facebook and talk and how they, if they are prime minister, they go lock up everybody and so on, then they have not even read the Constitution. They do not know what our system is. They don't understand the Westminster system. They have no idea of the rule of law and the separation of powers. Kamla Prasad Bisesa is a senior counsel. She loves democracy. She believes in democracy. She respects the rule of law, and she will not cross boundaries. So we in the UNC cannot tell you that we as executive members in the government going to lock up people. That's not our job. What we will tell you is, when the UNC inside, education, you're getting laptop, you're getting tablet, you're getting Wi-Fi, you're getting school, you're getting better road, you're getting water, 74% rather than 16%. You're getting foreign direct investment, you're getting green economy, agro-processing, you're getting sport, you're getting culture, you're getting steel pan, you're getting opportunities, you're getting crime fight, you're getting safety, you're getting community, you're getting resources for yourself. That's what we are in charge of, providing and improving the lives of the citizens, Khadija.
We forget that it was the People's Partnership who brought action against Malcolm Jones.
That's
And
civil action,
And
yes.
the case was not completed. And what did the PNM do as soon as they came
They
into
withdrew
government?
it, correct, and everybody just take that. They
Millions
immediately take
of
that.
dollars of Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' money gone.
Correct.
So to say that you want to see action, I want to tell you that action did take place before. But it is also important to return a good thing to government.
Exactly.
We are facing the elections have consequences. So we are facing the consequences of our action as a nation. Because when the People's Partnership was in government and you had these kind of legal proceedings against these people who make off with millions of dollars in taxpayers' money, what happened when the nation did not stand up and return the government that you had delivering all these things, including ensuring that justice is done for the people money to be paid back?
218-7762. Your constituency is key to education and opportunities, not only from early childhood straight up to doctorate with university tongue, MIC, NESC. Talk to me about the situation and how it is reeling from the lack of investment in education.
When the partnership was in government, there was a development area, designated development area, to be the St. Augustine Education City. And it was modeled after an international model where the university, the secondary schools, the primary schools, and so on, the priority in that area, high concentration. So we had 72 educational institutes, including UE, UTT, SAMS, all the other private tertiary education institutions. You have a concentration of secondary schools, top schools like SAGS and Hillview and all those other schools and so on. But in that area, you must also have where, education and research can't just be thing on paper and thing that you store in your computer. It has to be a reality. So you must have ideas that come out of the research being incubated as young businesses to start companies, to start technologies that would go into various markets. That is how BlackBerry was formed. Out of research and university and business incubation, the world got BlackBerry. And we can do that in Trinidad by giving support to our intellectual capacity. And on the East-West corridor, that concentration of education institutions, St. Augustine Education City, is something where you would have seen security, you would have interlocking systems within TTPS and the university police, you would have security, use of technology and people, you have bike lanes, you have green energy being used, you have solar energy and so on. And all of these things would also mean that even if you are not a student in university and you live within that area, in terms of the local economic development. And what that means is that money goes into the pockets of the average citizen.
Exactly, and the multiplier effect. Good evening.
Good evening, hosts and hostess.
Good evening, caller.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick statement.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that the Prime Minister, by his own admission, interfered with the process regarding the nomination of the Commissioner of Police, both with the Police Service Commission and with the President. He sabotaged the process. I just want to say to you, well, to both of you, that it is my view that it is not the first time that he interfered and influenced the selection of what was supposed to be a process outside of his remit. Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And on the WhatsApp message, someone says, we need to contact Scotland Immigration and alert them about the dishonorable Keith Rowley and let them... I already had a list. That's Curtis Joseph. Check this. Somebody had sent some more messages for me. I think a question. This mic working. You could read the question for me and operate that. Okay, we had again next mic here, boy Baru. Good evening. 218-7762. Khadija, I forgot last 2 weeks that I had a bus route pass and I bounced up some traffic, and then I remember and I dip in the glove compartment and take it out. And I drive up the bus route there. Oh Lord, Khadija.
You mean potholes?
Pothole. When I look right, all of the recreational grounds in a total...
Bush!
Oh Lord, Khadija,
Bush.
talk to me.
Listen now, man. People, even if you... Eddie Hart Recreation Ground is in St. Augustine constituency. Constantine Ground. That is on the bus route. And I want to tell you, Eddie Hart Ground is not being cut by the government agencies. You see them clubs, I just want to big up the clubs who
in the
function
area,
in that area there.
They maintaining it.
It's them putting up the money.
If you see around where's it's cow grass now.
Bush. But and in Currap you have Knoll Street Recreation Ground. Bush.
I fix up that when I was minister.
Yes,
nice
you build a nice pavilion first.
I score a bullet goal day when it if you see why they roll one for me, I did voodoo up in the view, you know.
So I had to write Kazim
Kazim
to
again.
beg for CPEP gang to come and cut the bush taller than me, and I am very tall. So I had to write him. So what I'm saying is all of these grounds, you have nobody cutting the grounds. The residents have to put up chirrup and get man with lawnmower and things. So.
Good evening.
Good evening to the lady and to the gentleman.
Good evening, caller.
As you said, you had us to put up one because you put up one in room 201 and a lady couldn't make it out. But so let me move on. We talk.
Yeah, when this show is for serious talk, all right? And like if you want to go in a room 201 with Randall Mitchell or Mascara Man, you go ahead. But don't come here with no nonsensical talk, right? PNM, you want to talk facts? Come and talk facts. Tell me Rowley didn't bounce the lady. Rowley was brilliant. What Rishi say?
Rishi Prasad is saying the people is coming back to take back the country.
Right. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Wait till I'm in room 201.
Hello, you in what up? Me a like man or what? Give me a chance by this serious talk here. We talking problems with the government, with the constitutional crisis. You want to go in room 201, go and call Keith Scotland, go and call Amory Brown, or go and call Al Rawi or Clarence Rambarat, and go by Rowley and boot it. All right? We have no time for your stupidness, boy.
I want to talk about them recreation ground all up in Karapo. Anil, when you were minister, you put a jogging track in Karapo and put lights in Karapo. If you see Bush there, recently now, the cricket club trying to put up to build a toilet. You know? And they're willing to spend their own money to do this to the community. In Karapo, in Evergreen there, the bush again high. We have to put up and put a little gas in our man waka, and them fellas just come out and paint up the little curb and try to cut the grass. I mean, this is happening throughout in Malabar. Malabar, you had a whole area left by the HGC must be about 40 years ago. So the space empty, they use it for recreation. They start to build a little clubhouse to secure their equipment.
They break it down.
They come and So this is the kind of thing, I mean...
India Grong in Malabar, I had approved by the cabinet 120 million to do 25-meter pool, pavilion, all sorts of facilities
They ever
there.
started?
PNM. We was starting and then we lost and then PNM come and cut it and
So
mash
there
it
were
up.
so many projects that were approved, and when I say approved, the money allocated for it
and
already.
sitting down there.
And when they go, it's just wickedness, a kind of vindictive kind of thing, because it's a UNC project.
Yes. Read out something there.
Yes,
What's up?
Shoba is saying, tell that.
Yeah, tell it over here.
Carry that.
Shoba, don't worry, them PNM only come with back and they can't discuss nothing about education, roads, water, opportunities, job creation, COVID-19, porous borders, agriculture, agro-processing, the green economy, NGC, gas price, point leases. They don't discuss them thing. Them coming to play games. I have no time with no Duncy PNM here this evening. Hello.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, stay focused.
Yeah, sure.
So tell them the WhatsApp. We getting the messages now. Don't call. 378-4975.
You can also send your messages on Facebook.
Yes. Vidya Mahabir said, so true. Rowley mashing up the country and he called to talk. Yeah, don't study that small. He from Barataria, he eating out a Rowley K-Pax. Don't study. You must have them kind of calls. We ain't afraid that. Get them it, Anil.
Great show. Chandra Rupchan saying great show.
Khadija, brilliant. Keep talking the facts. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Khadija and Anil and
Good
the other
evening.
guy.
Good evening,
Corky D.
You know, I saw Gypsy this morning, boy.
Where you saw him?
Then Captain, the ship is sinking and he's saying to Chambers, and then he's saying that, you know, not this government, this PNM government is my government. And I see this guy absolutely shameless, boy.
Yeah, boy, yeah. Poor Gypsy. Poor Gypsy.
A crooked bunch of ministers, boy. I remember Dave Tanku asking the health minister about a one-line item of $60 million that they can't explain where they spend the money in health. Hey, Anil, he is the best, and Khadija, and I wanted to tell you, please keep up the good work, And on the 30th,
we'll be there. Bring out everybody on the 30th. We're black. We're in the savannah. Following the mask, protocol, black flag. Khadija, people are sharing your lives.
We started already.
All your real walk today, boy. People show me that thing over and over.
We were in Oropun today. Oropun Boulevard. Let me tell you, Oropun is a place in 2018. That area was devastated by flooding.
Yes.
Keith Rowley reached by the gas station to go by the airport there. He
Yes.
reached by the gas station and he spoke to the media and he left. He never come in Oropun, so it just was a PR then. Oropun has one road to go in and come out.
Oh Lord, I was
You have
driving past
hundreds. When you pass on the highway,
Hundreds
you
of
see all those houses there.
houses.
Is one road, and if you see the condition of this road,
It's bad.
and whenever rain falls, part of that road, I mash up my vehicle when going in there to assist people because I didn't realize how much. That was when I first got elected, a few weeks after I became MP. Cars cannot go in once rain is falling. So it means that people who are inside are marooned. Those who are outside, you cannot go in. We have been asking for the Minister of Housing. When I write to the Minister of Housing, she write me back and tell me she has referred the matter to HDC.
Well, she is now the Minister of Rental and Maintenance. Rowley.
Well, we ain't getting no maintenance in Oropun. I want to tell you that. The grass is cutting. They're not maintaining the buildings. People hinges rotting and windows falling off. A lady part of her roof blow off. Up to now, they cannot fix it properly. The car parks have lights. The lights in the car park not working. The place in darkness. Bush tall like me, and I am very tall. You have the garbage not even being collected. So the maintenance is not happening in Oropun. I just want to tell you that. And you have one road in, one road out. And we have been asking for this road to be fixed. The regional corporation not getting money to do, there's some patching, but This road is so bad it is beyond patching. We asked the minister in charge of housing, HDC, we asked the minister of works, we asked the minister of local government, we begging the regional corporation. So the corporation say they'll try to do some patching. But that road is beyond patching. You know, so now Orapun people this evening, I must say a special good evening to all those who came out, because there were some who were afraid. You sure if we go out there and the police and go come and lock we up? We are orderly, law-abiding people. Nobody is even disrupting the traffic. Nobody is blocking any road. So, I mean, those who were brave enough, I commend them for coming out and making a stand. Myself, councillor for the area is Richard Rampasad. He was also present there giving support to the residents. And so we have to continue to come out and speak out. And I want to tell you that even standing peacefully, wearing one color, you send a message.
A strong message. And remember, Ross Johan says, remember people, let's stand together and push back on Tuesday, 30th November, Queen's Park, Savannah, North Side, 10 a.m. Hello?
WhatsApp saying
Hello,
change
good
the
night,
governing
gentlemen
system.
and lady. Good night,
Good night.
And Anil and Kokibi. Well, again, Kadisha, she's a strong woman, you know, and she has a lot of potential. I'm happy to know that when all the talking, all of those shout and demand people order to speak to the people with strong and positive message that they can understand. Don't bother about Rowdy, R-O-W-D-Y. And remember, you always try to set up some woman. Remember for Carnival in San Fernando?
Oh, Lord. Oh, you like Baccarat. Yes, it's true. But that wasn't a woman. That was a 17-year-old girl. All right. Blessings. As we have Peter... Oh my goodness, Peter Dindial. Glenroy Cobham. PNM out, PNM bad. They want them out bad. Krishna Budu says, best program in history of Trinidad and Tobago for real. Good evening. Hello.
Well, what up, PNM, man?
Hello. What up? Hello. What happened there? Hello.
Hello.
Good
Yes,
evening.
caller.
Yes, sir. Rambo Roberts. You will know who this is.
How you going?
All right. Yes, I want to congratulate you on Mr. Amin. Good afternoon to you.
Yes,
I
good
want to
evening.
Yes, I want to congratulate you on this new platform that you're on. You're reaching a lot more people on this platform. Very good, very good.
Thank you.
Excellent job.
Natasha
Excellent
Woods.
job.
Natasha Woods, I seen your message. Oh, God, again, Bob. Good evening, Natasha Woods. Wait now. Anil has seen my messages. Oh, Lord, I see it, girl.
Continue to demolish
you, my
the
brother.
PNM camp, man. Continue to demolish, right?
Yes.
And by George, we'll get this done,
I
right?
want,
We
with
need
your
the support.
help, please, with your help, the people help. We need all the people.
And-
Unite. Do not divide. Unite.
And I fully agree with all this pothole issue because up to today, my car dropped in a big one and I have a high car.
You see?
The wheel up high, dropped in a big one and it wasn't there last week.
No, but
It wasn't there
serious
last week,
thing,
so
boy. You see?
I want to know what is going on,
But up in Satan. Yeah.
conventional and all talking a lot of rubbish. I mean, there's no talk about natural immunity in this country. I want to know why is that? Why they ignoring the science?
But exactly, because
Why
you're
they
charging.
don't ban-
Suppose Mr. Hossain, who got $5,000 ticket, suppose he had natural immunity.
Yeah.
Suppose he could go in the court now and say, but look, I had antibodies. Why you all give me this?
That's why.
Exactly.
They're violating the Nuremberg codes, and there will be a reckoning. I'm telling you, it may not happen now, but in years to come, there will be a reckoning. There will be a lot of people going to prison because of this nonsense that is taking place. Real nonsense.
Be safe. Rally the people, and let's get out there bit by bit. We're doing it
Definitely, man.
legally. Thank you. God bless.
Lapai Recreation Ground, mosquitoes, and they say the place like a swamp.
Yeah, we do work on that ground there when we were in government, and
Yes, send the
to
picture
see
here.
how badly neglected it is now. Yes, I'm glad you are speaking out
Yes,
about it.
thank you. It's terrible, but we under the partnership government, we fix up that. It was running nice. Now all the grounds across Trinidad and Tobago, only cow grazing and goat. Hello, good evening. Boy, hey, PNM, you do a road a barrage show to go and listen to something. This show is for intelligent discussion. We are not interested in, I coward, come down here, we in Charlieville, outside the U97. What is the address here?
No, let me get the address.
Tell him the address outside. No, let go. Hey!
Let me take our next call now, man. Don't waste time on that,
Don't
man.
get Anil, don't come down.
He look like he coming out the house.
PNM, wait till they send your next phone card now, boy. This serious talk. Khadija, you have 2.5 minutes. Talk to the people.
I want to encourage people to stand up. This is an opportunity to stand up and to unite. You can use social media, you can use your radio stations, you can come out and speak. But you can also, I want to tell you, do not be afraid of the PNM government threatening you. Do not be intimidated and stay quiet. If we stay quiet, our democracy will be lost. The October Revolution is not about a political party. It is a peaceful movement across the country where we can wear black and have our say. And this is your opportunity wherever you live in this country to be outspoken. Our parliamentarians are being muted, and we as citizens must not allow ourselves to be muted. The leader of opposition has made a bold stance in the parliament, has made a bold stance by calling for the October Revolution. And it is for us, all of us, to make this a reality. So I give my commitment. I thank all of you on Douglar Politics. I thank Anil Roberts for providing this platform. And I give you the assurance that I will continue to stand for the people of St. Augustine who voted to make me a representative, but for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because I, Khadija Amin, I am a citizen of this country and I am a patriot. If you are a patriot, that don't mean you have to like the government. You must love your country. And if you love Trinidad and Tobago, you cannot love what the PNM is doing to it. Let us stand up and join the October Revolution.
Good night. On behalf of Corky D, Khadija Amin, the MP for St. Augustine, have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Douglar Politics, Corky. Play a tune for the people.
Blockheads seem to be in charge in just about every country, whether small or large. Check out public opinion anywhere in the world today, and this is what the man in the street will say. The Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. In the ranks of the idiots, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. In Russia, Pakistan, Britain, almost every day, on radio and television, you can hear them pray. From Copenhagen to Timbuktu, from the Nile to the Don, the country is headed by a moron, where the Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. And in the ranks of the idiots, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. Arrogant and big-headed, stubborn as a mule, praying lest the land dim-witted, simpleton and fool. Conventional wisdom has it, yes, it's known universally. Even the House and the Senators would agree. They say the Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. And in the lineup of idiots, Lord, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. Now some might think this is nonsense, some might make a fuss, some might say it's mischievous, vile and odious. But if you fancy my melody, if you enjoy my song, I invite you to join me and sing along. The Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. And in the ranks of the idiots, Lord, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. And in the lineup of idiots, Lord, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. And in the ranks of the idiots, Lord, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. The Prime Minister is an R. And in the lineup of idiots, Lord, the President tops the class, and the Prime Minister is an R. Hey, 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 hey. Yes, the Prime Minister is an R. Ho, 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 ho. Yes, the Prime Minister is an R.